Hello, everybody, and welcome into TD Ameritrade Park in Omaha, Nebraska for WCBN Sports coverage of the 2019 Men's College World Series Finals and Michigan baseball. I'm Austin Falco. Alongside me is Daniel Thompson, bringing you the action of Game 2 of this the best-of-3 final series between the visiting Vanderbilt Commodores and the home team today, the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan just one win away from the national championship. Vanderbilt trying to stay alive for one more day and force a winner-take-all Game 3 tomorrow. And Michigan going with a little bit of an unexpected guy on the mound today, the redshirt freshman Isaiah Page on the bump for the Wolverines.
Yep, that is one that I think surprised a lot of Michigan fans. Head coach Eric Bakich did say in the press conference last night that it was by no means a done deal that Jeff Criswell would get the start. I think a lot could expect the new super reliever, Jeff Criswell. Michigan likes to tout Jordan Wogu as the scariest leadoff hitter in college baseball. I think Jeff Criswell is fairly the scariest closer in college baseball as things have gone lately in Omaha. But do not expect him to really serve a closing role in this game. I think through 4 or 5 innings we will see Criswell, maybe 6 if all goes to plan for Michigan. But Isaiah Page is a talented kid from California, representing his state because no team made it for only the second time ever from his home state. We will see what he can do. He is a redshirt freshman, was planning to play a significant amount of time for this team last year, but tore his ACL before the season started. He also has an interview with WCBN. We were able to talk to him before the year started. I believe Adam Rich, another California guy, is one of the 2 who conducted that interview. You can check that one out after the game, maybe, and maybe hear from the man who got the win at the College World Series if things do turn out that way.
Vanderbilt is a tough lineup to face for Page. They send out the following batting order. Up first is the third baseman, Austin Martin. Batting second, playing right field, J.J. Blade. Ethan Paul bats third and plays short. Behind the plate is Philip Clark. He bats fourth. Batting fifth is the center fielder, Pat DeMarco. Steven Scott bats sixth and plays left field. Batting seventh is the second baseman, Harrison Ray. The designated hitter for the Vanderbilt Commodores is Ty Duval. He bats eighth. Batting ninth is the first baseman, Julian Infante, rounding out the lineup. As you said, we'll face redshirt freshman Isaiah Page. The right-hander is 4-0 this season on 25 appearances, 4 starts, has a 2.98 ERA and 48 1/3 innings pitched. He struck out 28, walked just 16, and batters hit .221 against the right-hander from Diamond Bar, California.
And of course that also means tonight we have a freshman versus freshman matchup, although both coaches don't really want you to call their guys freshmen, as Tim Corbin pointed out. Kumar Rocker was a freshman back in September, and he has played a full season plus some already, so 2 experienced freshmen dueling today.
Walking up is Austin Martin. First pitch from Isaiah Page is a called strike 1 with the fastball.
Yep, no hesitation for Michigan fans. A few hours ago only they found out Isaiah Page would be starting, and they get to see him right away. Michigan home in today's game.
Page out of the windup, working from right down the center of the rubber. 0-1 pitch to Austin Martin, off the hands and muscled over to the right side. That one's going to get up out of play. And the count's 0-2 on the guy that should be picked very highly in next year's draft. Batting .405 on the season is Austin Martin. Gets on base nearly half the time he steps up to the plate. .498 on base percentage. Has some pop in that bat as well, but he's down 0-2 here to Page. The windup, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Isaiah Page breaks out the breaking ball there on the first batter of the game. Gets his first strikeout here in Omaha.
And what a start for the redshirt freshman. What a way to get into this. He has not played in the College World Series at all. One of the last times we saw him, he came into the inning with the bases loaded, none out, and relieved teammate Angelo Smith without conceding a single run. So he's been good largely this postseason. He was bad in that Creighton Gate collapse where really everyone was who came in for relief. But the bad news for him, J.J. Blade is due up next.
J.J. Blade, number 4 overall pick in this past year's draft, takes the first pitch and lines it down the right field line, hooking foul into the stands. Counts 0-1.
So 4 pitches, 4 strikes for Isaiah Page. As well as he's navigated this lineup so far, there's really...
one batter in.
Yeah, 1 batter in and 1 pitch, but there are no easy breaks, so he's going to have to grind all the way through this.
He winds up. The 0-1 pitch to Blade is off the plate away, 1-1. You want to stay away from that power of J.J. Blade.
Absolutely. He went the distance yesterday. Ultimately, the first of 3 home runs in the day.
Looking in for the sign is Page, winding up 1-1 pitch. Way ahead of it was Blade, and he fouled it off the Vanderbilt dugout. And the count's 1-2 on him now. Blade, a .352 hitter, gets on base at a .467 clip. Hit home run number 27 of the season yesterday. Drove in RBI number 71 on that long ball. Page faces towards the third base dugout as he winds up on the 1-2 pitch. This one is fouled on the left field line this time. That'll hook and get into the seats. The count will remain 1-2 on the big left-hander.
And Blade's been able to get contact here off Page early. 1 ball and 3 fouls so far against Page. He has yet to get him looking or swinging and missing. We'll see what Page can do as Michigan has a strong shift right now in the infield.
Yeah, almost everybody on the right side of the infield as the 1-2 pitch again is fouled off towards the Vanderbilt dugout. Way ahead of it again was Blade, fouling off the very end of the bat.
And Blade nearly takes his own teammate Drake Fellows' head off right there. That ball was steaming toward the dugout. Fellows, though, escapes unharmed. Yesterday's starting pitcher who got the loss, only a second on the season.
Page trying to retire Blade. Another 1-2 pitch. Misses off the plate away, ball 2. Close pitch there. You hear the oohs and ahs of Michigan Wolverine fans on attendance today. Plenty of maize and blue in the crowd, especially in the grandstand down the third base line, where Michigan is situated in that dugout today.
And I think Page is really going to have to paint the corners here if he wants to get Blade swinging. He's been making good contact against Page.
The windup, 2-2 pitch. Misses inside with the breaking ball. It's 3-2.
We'll have to likely throw a strike or one that looks like a strike at some point against Blade, though. That one way inside, never had a chance of fooling Blade. We'll see what he does here. Can't give up a homer. A walk with 1 out is an okay outcome for the youngster.
3-2 pitch. Hit high in the air towards center field. Ranging out is the shortstop, Jack Blomgren. Ranging in is Jesse Franklin. Now he'll make the grab in very shallow center field for the second out of the inning.
And there I was selling him short. Said a walk would be okay. Wasn't sure if he could get him to swing and a miss. Well, Blade did make contact in every single non-ball that was thrown his way, but doesn't matter. Isaiah Page gets him popping out. That was a bit tricky for Blomgren and Franklin. A lot of Michigan fans, I'm sure, thought a miscommunication was due as they both were running to that ball. Page escapes, though, and retires 2 of the best batters in the whole country, probably 2 top 10 picks. What a way to enter this game for the redshirt freshman.
Another left-hander due up at the same Vanderbilt lineup as yesterday that Tommy Henry faced. And he lines one down the right field line, does Ethan Paul. That one's going to get foul into the seats. And it's 0-1 on the shortstop.
And that one got up to the 300s, a rare sight here in Omaha. Well, firstly, the 300s aren't very long, only 6 sections in total on the left and right sides, but a rare souvenir for the fans up in the 300 section. Looks like all Michigan on that side, though.
0-1 pitch, fouled back behind the screen. That'll get into the 200 sections, the club seats behind home plate. The count is 1-2. Looks like it's near up where the Michigan Athletics box is.
Yep, hit a man in a Michigan polo right in the hand. He batted that one down and recovered it.
Can't see if we have any of our high-profile visitors that we had yesterday, but you have to assume they're sticking around for this series. As Page winds up, 0-2 pitch to Ethan Paul. Misses down and in with the breaking ball. It's 1-2.
Yep, as head coach Carol Hutchins posted on Twitter yesterday a picture of her and her 3 colleagues riding in that Michigan private jet into Omaha. So you'd think they're going to be here as long as they need to be, and why not stick around Omaha a bit longer? Of course, a famous Michigan athlete, Gerald Ford, born here in Omaha.
Page winds up, 1-2 pitch. Misses low and away this time. It's 2-2 on Ethan Paul. Not chasing these pitches, moving down out of the strike zone from Page. Very similar to what J.J. Blade did last at bat.
Nope, and impressively, the best batter of them all, Austin Martin, was the one who was able to strike out swinging.
Took just 3 pitches to retire him, and a 2-2 pitch here to Paul. Called! Strike 3 with the fastball. Just as I said, they weren't chasing balls out of the zone. Paul doesn't swing at one in the zone. Page strikes out 2 while he goes 1-2-3 in the top of the first. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning. The score, Vanderbilt 0, Michigan coming up. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports.
He may be in year 1, but he gets the 1-2-3 inning. That's something Tommy Henry and Jeff Criswell struggled all night last night trying to do. Only a couple of times could they get that. Isaiah Page, what a start. And Vanderbilt, they need to find a way to get back in this game, get back mentally in this series. I think there's a lot more pressure on them right now, being the number 2 seed in the country. certainly for Michigan, they can still hold their heads high. And Vanderbilt, of course, it's a phenomenal season, even if they go 0-2 here in the national championship series. But Vanderbilt, I think, dealing the pressure right now, and is the top of their lineup goes 1-2-3 against a redshirt freshman who has not pitched yet in Omaha. That has to be a tough pill to swallow, and it's going to make this just a bit more of an uphill battle for Vanderbilt to get mentally back in this one.
Michigan will look to hop out to an early lead as they've done each of the first 4 games they played here in the College World Series, scoring at least 1 run in every single game thus far, in part due to the lineup that goes as follows. Leading off the designated hitter, Jordan Wogu. Jesse Franklin is the center fielder. He bats second. Batting third, playing right field, is Jordan Brewer. In the cleanup spot, the first baseman, Jimmy Kerr. Batting fifth is Blake Nelson. He plays third base. The left fielder, Christian Bullock, bats sixth. Batting seventh is the shortstop, Jack Blomgren. Joe Donovan is behind the plate. He bats eighth. And rounding out the lineup, the second baseman, Akeo Thomas. They'll face the high-profile right-handed throwing freshman for Vanderbilt, Kumar Rocker. Rocker, 18 appearances, 15 starts on the season, 1 complete game, and I'm sure we'll get to what that one was in a second. He's 11-5 with a 3.37 ERA and 93 1/3 innings pitched. He struck out 103 batters, walked a measly 19 of them, and batting average against, 240. We said we get to that complete game that Kumar Rocker throws. It's gone national in the Super Regionals after Vanderbilt went down 0-1 to the Duke Blue Demons. Kumar Rocker came out the next day, threw your everyday 19 strikeout no-hitter against the Blue Devils.
Yep, the MLB record is just 20 strikeouts. A couple of guys tied with 20 strikeouts in one 9-inning game, but Kumar Rocker, I mean, Major League Baseball stats have been going back for 150 years, and Kumar Rocker does something that he's 1 strikeout away. It was truly a phenomenal.
First pitch, a called strike to Jordan Wogu with the fastball. It's 0-1, and Rocker has that breaking ball. It just drops off the table when it gets near the strike zone. Very late movement on it. Michigan will have to look out for that one. Try not to chase it too much today. Rocker working quickly. There is that breaking ball. It misses inside, though, and the count's 1-1.
Yeah, Michigan has excelled a lot through walking here in the past 2 games. Walked 12 times versus Texas Tech and got on base several times via walks yesterday. Kumar Rocker does not walk many, though.
1-1 pitch. Tries that breaking ball again. Goes low and away, and going around on the check swing was Jordan Wogu, said the first base umpire, Billy Hayes. It's 1-2 now on the Wolverine leadoff hitter.
And I misspoke there, accidentally calling him Kumar Rocker. That is the worst nickname you could have for him. Strikeout pitch. He has nearly a 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
1-2 pitch. Fastball foul off to the right side. Just getting a piece of that one was Jordan Wogu, and he'll stay alive at 1-2.
And nearly almost up to our deck. Would have been great to go home with the Jordan Wogu foul ball, but nonetheless, still a 1-2 count for him.
Rocker winds. Another 1-2. Off-speed pitch popped up down the right field line. Going over is the first baseman, Infante. Does he have room? He does not. It gets out of play, and the count remains 1-2 on Jordan Wogu.
And running up that pitch count, staying in this one, Eric Bakich talked a lot about that in yesterday's press conference. And if there's one real complaint you can have about Kumar Rocker, he has 5 losses on the season. Really not really his fault, just the offense not putting up as many runs when he's pitching for whatever reason. But he doesn't go as deep in games. Went about 19 innings pitched less on the season despite as many appearances as teammate Drake Fellows. So if you can get him out early, that is the way for Michigan to get ahead in this one.
1-2 pitch to Wogu. Fastball swinging and a miss, strike 3. Way behind the 95-mile-an-hour fastball of Kumar Rocker was Jordan Wogu, and there's 1 out in the first.
Yep, he is a guy. Drake Fellows didn't have a stellar walkout to strike ratio, but Kumar Rocker is a guy who is just never going to give you a chance in that department. Only 19 walks on the year while killing it in strikeouts. He had 103 strikeouts, just 19 walks. It's a better than 5-to-1 ratio.
The first lefty in the Wolverine lineup makes his way to the plate in the form of center fielder Jesse Franklin. First pitch breaking ball called strike 1. Franklin was looking to hop on an early fastball there. His hand started flying through the zone, but he had to wait back as that one dropped right in from Rocker.
And Michigan did get Drake Fellows out early. He pitched 111 innings on the season going into that one.
Second pitch is hit high in the air to left field. Going back a little bit is the left fielder, Scott. He settles into it in routine depth and makes the grab for out number 2.
Yep, ultimately goes about 310 feet. Might have challenged for a home run in some ballparks, but that's just not going to quite cut it. Maybe get some fans oohing and awing for a second here in Omaha, but not enough on it. We'll see what Brewer can do to break this one open.
Michigan in danger of not scoring in the first inning for the first time in this College World Series. First pitch, rocker to Jordan Brewer, fastball follows straight back to the screen. 0-1's the count.
I did not consider the stakes there. Michigan 4-0 right now, averaging 1.5 runs in the first inning. They're going to need a 2-out rally now to keep that streak alive.
Jordan Brewer, Big Ten Player of the Year, down in the count. 0-1, sees a breaking ball and goes around on the check swing as it dropped right off the table. It's 0-2.
And Kumar Rocker is just getting to work here right now. Throwing strikes, not balls, not getting behind in any counts. He looks like he is well on his way to another legendary Kumar Rocker performance.
0-2 pitch to Brewer. Breaking ball, swinging and a miss, strike 3. So Rocker answers Page's top of the first with a couple strikeouts and a flyout. We head to the second inning. Both pitchers dealing. We're scoreless between Michigan and Vanderbilt in Game 2 of the College World Series Finals. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports.
And talk about the psychological warfare of retiring the first 3 batters. I mean, Kumar Rocker, he made it look easy. And, of course, his name is very well known in the College World Series circle right now. Michigan players, I'm sure, were very much thinking about him going into this one, and that is not the way they wanted to start. Isaiah Page certainly maybe caught people off guard with that 1-2-3 inning, but Kumar Rocker basically did what was expected of him. Never looked like for a second he was in danger of surrendering a hit, and that is going to, I think, intimidate some of the Michigan batters right here, and we'll see what Isaiah Page has to respond now to a phenomenal inning from Kumar Rocker. And, of course, 0-0 as we enter the second inning with 2 1-2-3 innings.
So as we go scoreless here into the second, Michigan's up 1-0 in this College World Series Finals. The best of 3 series. Should Michigan win, they'll win their first national championship since 1962. Should Vanderbilt win, we'll be right back here again tomorrow night. Same start time, 7 Eastern, 6 Central time. As Page went 1-2-3 in the first. He's going to face the middle of the Vanderbilt lineup, Philip Clark, Pat DeMarco, and Steven Scott today. This is where Tommy Henry got a little bit knocked around in the ballgame yesterday, as much as you can say a guy that only gave up 2 extra base hits all day got knocked around. It was around this middle and end of the lineup that did the damage. Philip Clark, the leadoff hitter, 1 for 4 yesterday, scored the first run of the ballgame for Vanderbilt after he singled to lead off the second inning in that one.
Yep, Michigan, 2 straight games now has given up multiple runs in the second inning, but fortunate for them, yesterday they were already up 4-0 when the second inning came around. We'll see if they can avoid a 3rd straight second inning collapse, but survived the first 2 really in stride. Both those games weren't too close when it came to the end.
Catcher Clark batting from the left side. First pitch from the right-handed throwing Isaiah Page is a breaking ball fouled back behind the plate, a little chopper. It's 0-1 on him. Clark, a 300 hitter even after his 1 for 4 day yesterday. Gets on base at a 381 clip in that cleanup spot for Vanderbilt. Driven in 68 runs on the season. Run producer there. He hits a high fly ball towards shallow right center field. Ranging out is second baseman Mikhail Thomas. Running in is Jordan Brewer, who slides to his knees and makes the grab just at the last second.
And probably nothing is going to top the defensive gem he had yesterday, where he just threw that guided missile to third base for Blake Nelson to tag out J.J. Blade. But that was a really impressive one, too. Just ducking behind his teammate, making some acrobatic moves to get that one. Not great communication there between Akeo Thomas and Jordan Brewer, but the athleticism makes up for it.
Yeah, not sure if Akeo Thomas was calling for it and Brewer thought he had a better look at it, or Akeo Thomas didn't hear him, or what there, but they were both in almost the exact same spot, almost ran into each other before Thomas backed off at the last second and Brewer came in sliding to make the grab. First pitch is a ball to Pat DeMarco, missed high and in. Counts 1-0 on the center fielder for Vanderbilt. Page winds up. 1-0 pitch righty-righty this time. Is on the inside corner, strike 1.
And it does look like Vanderbilt's batters are getting a lot more bigger pieces of Isaiah Page's pitches than they were of Tommy Henry. Very few balls getting sent to the outfield for Tommy Henry. Isaiah Page already had a few now.
1-1 pitch, swing and miss at a breaking ball, moving downward away from the right-hander. and it's 1-2.
Of course, I don't think they're going to ask Isaiah Page to go nearly as deep as Tommy Henry did. Tommy Henry pitching 17 1/3 innings here in Omaha, going 8 1/3 last night.
Page winds up, 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the breaking ball again. Isaiah Page has it working here early on. He's got 3 strikeouts in the first 5 batters, and there's 2 outs here in the second. Still scoreless between Michigan and Vanderbilt.
I am so impressed here by Isaiah Page. I mean, he's not had the just otherworldly performance that Kumar Rocker's had so far and just terrifying batters, but he is getting the job done in the biggest stage possible. A guy who's not had any chances to warm up in Omaha yet. This game will almost certainly be his Omaha legacy, at least for year 1.
First pitch here hit high in the air by the left fielder, Stephen Scott, back near the wall, near the corner. Is it fair? It is foul.
And that's the fear for Michigan fans. That's about the 5th or 6th ball that has gotten toward that right field, got long enough for a home run, just none of them straight enough to go out of the park officially and record a run. But as Vanderbilt fans are booing, but he's not. There have been 3 or 4 already in that very similar area. That one was by far the closest, but Isaiah Page, these batters are getting a piece of it. Still, can't complain with the start. 3 strikeouts, 1 1/3 retired with no one out. Sorry, 1 2/3, 2 out, no one on.
Page winds up, 0-1 pitch here to Scott is just off the plate outside. Donovan tried to frame it, couldn't get the call from our home plate umpire today, David Savage. Savage is behind the plate. Billy Hayes is the first base umpire. Adam Dowdy's over there at second, and Scott Klein is manning third base. Page ready for a 1-1 pitch to Scott. He fires its ground ball towards Jimmy Kerr at first. He tries to backhand it, gets under his glove into shallow right field. Not going to be able to make the play there is Akeo Thomas. Probably an error there on Jimmy Kerr, who's been very sure-handed in this NCAA tournament. And it puts a runner on with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning.
Yeah, Michigan endured their first error in yesterday's game, ended up taking it in stride en route to a 7-4 victory, as they do officially record that as an error. So they're going to have to, you can't really make that, with Tommy Henry as their pitcher, there's a little bit more leeway. But with the redshirt freshman, you really can't do anything to hurt his confidence, put pressure on him. He hasn't had any chance to ease into this Omaha moment. He's pitching with a chance to win the College World Series for his team, despite not being seen since all the way back in the Corvallis Regional. No, he did pitch in.
First pitch to Harrison Ray is a breaking ball. Must have missed a little bit off the plate. Looked like it was good from up here, but it's 1-0 on the second baseman, Ray. Michigan's defensive linemen today across the outfield: Christian Bullock, Jesse Franklin, Jordan Brewer left to right. Left side of the infield, Blake Nelson and Jack Blomgren. Right side is Akeo Thomas and Jimmy Kerr. As Ray pops one up towards that right side, that's going to get near the stands and out of play. So the count's now 1-1 on Ray. Behind the plate for Isaiah Page today is Joe Donovan. Same lineup Michigan has been trotting out since that UCLA Super Regional.
Yeah, before we did last see Page, that's when he got out of that bases loaded jam with no out. Coming in relief for Angelo Smith in extra innings to add pressure to that situation.
Scott over on first base with 5 stolen bases, but a swing and a miss at the plate by Harrison Ray on a breaking ball. It's 1-2 on him. Page really getting that off-speed stuff working on here. Getting a lot of swings and misses, especially from the right-handed batters in this Vanderbilt lineup. Unfortunately for him, there's 4 righties compared to 5 lefties. Page comes set. 1-2 pitch. Tries that breaking ball again, misses low. But even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Page also doing a great job staying ahead of counts. Only has had 1 full count even. Not really putting much risk of putting batters on via walk.
Ray, the speedy second baseman, had a hit in his first at-bat yesterday. Went 1 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. He looks in for a 2-2 from Isaiah Page. This one is chopped high up the middle. Blomgren's got to charge it. He throws over to first while on the run, and Kerr grabs it before it hits the dirt for the 3rd out in the 2nd.
And that one a little bit scary, too. Almost a harder play than Jimmy Kerr's error at first. With that ball taking an awkward skip, I think Michigan's defense was looking to beat the runner to second at first, ultimately make the wise decision to go to first. Blomgren on the move, gets a acceptable, not great throw to Jimmy Kerr, low enough and good enough for Kerr to receive it and end this inning before any damage is done. One error, but no hit still for Isaiah Page, who's been pretty clutch when needed here in the postseason. Of course, you can throw out that first championship game versus Creighton. Everyone did poorly in that one. Page getting redemption in Los Angeles and doing well so far.
We'll head to the bottom of the second inning. As Daniel said, an error that inning, but no runs for the Vanderbilt Commodores. The score, after 1.5, Michigan 0, Vanderbilt 0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. I'm Austin Falco alongside Daniel Thompson. Michigan up 1-0, looking to win their first title since 1962 here in Omaha. For Michigan to be the middle of the order, Jimmy Kerr, Blake Nelson, and Christian Bullock due up in the bottom of the second inning. And Jimmy Kerr, despite not looking great in 4 of his at-bats yesterday, looked awfully good on the one big blow that he dealt, a long 2-run home run to really put the game out of reach in the 7th inning of that one. Put it off the back of the right field bullpen. He'll get a chance to lead things off here, get his first look at the freshman Kumar Rocker, who baffled the Wolverine bats in the first, baffled the Duke bats in the Super Regional, and has looked stellar over his last 5 or so outings.
Yep, so it looks like Vanderbilt's going to start this inning in the switch. 3 infielders to the right of second, and Jimmy Kerr got on base versus Texas Tech before starting a 5-run inning, leading off and bunting toward third. I think that might be in order with the way Kumar Rocker is pitching.
Righty to lefty to lead things off here. As Daniel mentioned, they are in the shift as Vanderbilt. 3 infielders on the right side of second base. First pitch fastball to Kerr, misses outside, 1-0. Rocker threw just 10 pitches in that first inning. Was very efficient, getting a couple strikeouts. The 1-0 pitch is a breaking ball that misses down and in to Kerr, and it's 2-0. Rocker has that deadly fastball slider combo. The fastball can get up there near 95, 96 miles an hour. And that slider drops off around 80 and drops out of the zone at the last second. 2-0 pitch, though. Tries with that fastball. Misses high and away. Ball 3. Jimmy Kerr is in control of this count. Daniel, do you try to give him the green light here? Maybe get a fastball from Rocker?
No. Count your blessings against Kumar Rocker. Get on base.
3-0 pitch is a fastball called strike 1 on the outside part. Dialed it back a little bit, only 90 miles an hour on the gun here in the stadium. As we've said all week long, we believe it's a couple ticks slow, so that one probably was a little bit more than 90. The 3-1 offering is a swing and a miss at the fastball. It's 3-2. That went up to 94 on the gun here.
Yep, Jimmy Kerr very much did not have the green light at 3-0 and now is down 3-2. Still up, tied 3-2.
After a couple fastballs to get strikes, we'll see what Rocker goes here on the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. High fastball gets Kerr chasing. 3 strikeouts in the first 4 batters for Rocker. And that'll bring up Blake Nelson.
And with exception to that home run, Kerr himself said it in the post-game press conference. He did not have a great game up to the plate, just had that one hit, and did not really look good either in those at-bats. Not making great contact, chasing balls maybe he should not have. Didn't look stellar in that at-bat. Didn't swing at 3 pretty obvious pitches.
First pitch to Blake Nelson is off speed in there for a strike 0-1. And that's kind of what I was meaning on 3-0. You're probably the easiest pitch to hit from Rocker. Dialed it back a couple miles an hour with the fastball. Could have driven that one perhaps the other way, could Jimmy Kerr, but watched it for the first strike. Another breaking ball here to Blake Nelson is watched on the outside corner. It's 0-2 on the Wolverine third baseman now.
Yep, and I think it'd be big for Michigan if they could at least just have some long at-bats, get Kumar Rocker out of this game.
0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the fastball. Late on 90 miles an hour was Nelson. Another strikeout for Rocker. He's got 4 already through 5 Wolverine hitters.
And that is not the way you need to start this game. Kumar Rocker is still under 20 pitches, already retiring 5. I mean, Michigan, they're going to have to ask a lot from their defense if they're going to win this one with the way Rocker is pitching. Michigan has to throw him off his rhythm one way or another.
That's going to bring up the left fielder, Christian Bullock, who sputtered a bit in this College World Series. Just 2 hits throughout the 4 games. Has reached base a few times on walks. The first pitch is a squaring around a bunt and puts it over the screen and out of play is Christian Bullock. It's 0-1 on him. Charging hard was the third baseman, Martin. First baseman, Infante, also charging a bit if Bullock had been able to drag that one down the first base line. And now playing in on the grass is Austin Martin. Winding up his rocker. Another bunt attempt by Bullock. He pulls back and takes a strike on the inside corner. 0-2.
And I think Bullock's way to get on base here really is a bunt. He has not been seeing the ball well in Omaha. A lot of strikeouts, and Kumar Rocker is not the guy you want to face when you're struggling with strikeouts. Now that probably is out of the question.
0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Rocker strikes out the side and needs just 12 pitches to do it. Rocker looks dominant here early on. 5 strikeouts through 6 batters. We head to the third. Scoreless between Vanderbilt and Michigan in Game 2 of the College World Series Finals. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports.
Yep, and Michigan, right now Kumar Rocker is well on his way to another great outing. I mean, this is how you get started for a no-hitter at least. He went 130 pitches versus Duke. At the pace he's on right now, won't even need to do that. Michigan, they have to at least extend these bats, throw him off his rhythm, do something to disturb him. Because you can't win the game with no runs. I mean,
problem is they can't touch him.
Yeah, and
it's easier said than done.
I don't know what you do, but someone's got to just come up, foul some balls off, extend the count.
You got to hop on the fastballs when you get them. That's kind of the way that Michigan talked about how they went about hitting yesterday and how they've gone about hitting in this tournament. And when they're on, that's what they do. They look for fastballs, try to hit them. Problem is, they're swinging and missing on these fastballs, swinging right through them, swinging late on them because they're so worried about that devastating breaking ball dropping out of the zone and being perhaps too early on one of those. Isaiah Page has looked good through his 2 innings of work, 3 strikeouts. Pales in comparison to the 5 that Kumar Rocker has, but still a very good outing. And could have been out of that second inning even earlier. There was an error by Jimmy Kerr in that one that made Page throw an extra 5 pitches. Still coming this inning, throwing 30. He's on pace to get the Wolverines a good little outing here, get reasonably deep in the ball game before we see anybody come out of the Michigan pen. I think we all kind of expect Jeff Criswell to perhaps be the first arm out of the pen as we see Desmond Howard in attendance today over in the Michigan box, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, I see 2 different boxes with Michigan flags. And 214, that section that was a ball was fouled up to earlier, is where Desmond Howard is.
That might have been Desmond Howard, at least the row in front of Desmond Howard that caught that ball.
Yeah, I do believe it was the man 2 rows in front of Desmond Howard.
First pitch, line by Ty Duvall towards center field. Jesse Franklin stops for a second and then runs a couple more steps in to make the grab for out number 1 here in the top of the 3rd inning. Still scoreless, Michigan and Vanderbilt.
Jesse Franklin making it look like he misplayed that one for a second, ultimately gets there. And Michigan already has the 1 defensive hiccup, but they've flirted with a few more already. Page
flings his arms out in front of him as he steps onto the mound, ready to face Julian Infante for the first time. The big first baseman has plenty of pop in the bat. 12 home runs, 9 doubles on the year in that 9-hole. First pitch, breaking ball, bounced in the dirt, and it's 1-0 on him. Infante, just a .234 hitter. Starting lineup. He check swings and fouls a fastball back to the screen, rather an off-speed pitch back to the screen, and the count is 1-1 on Infante.
And I've been so impressed with the way Isaiah Page has started this game. Unfortunately for him, Kumar Rocker is going to get all the national attention, and Kumar Rocker certainly deserves that attention, but stealing Isaiah Page's thunder, still hasn't surrendered a hit. 1-1
pitch, high fastball, 2-1.
And that is the loudest I've seen the 2 sides of the outfield mock each other so far today, or all World Series long. That was impressive what they pulled off right there.
Everybody in the stands standing up to yell back and forth. I don't know if you can hear it through the headphones there. Yeah, it is awfully loud today. As Page winds up, 2-1 pitch. Off-speed swing and a miss. Got Infante way out in front of that one, and it's 2-2.
Yep, the gun had it at 77. Realistically, no, it's probably a bit faster than that, but that one looked like it was going 50.
Yeah, that one just floated in there. Infante was just about done with this swing by the time it hit the mid of Joe Donovan behind the plate. Page takes a breath, winds up. 2-2 pitch. Goes back to that off speed and just misses off the outside edge. It's 3-2.
Michigan fans not happy with that one, and it was a toss-up. You never really know in those edge case ones. It's one of the hardest calls to make in sports, ball or strike, when a guy stares at one.
Well, the wind-up 3-2 pitch. line towards right center field. Going over is Jordan Brewer. He's going to play it on a hop. That'll be a first base hit for Vanderbilt. The announcer's jinx in full effect for Daniel Thompson. And there's a runner on first with one gone. Headed to the top of the Vanderbilt order, looking to strike first in game number 2.
And perhaps untimely for Isaiah Page, because it's Austin Martin due up to the bat now. That scenario came up once yesterday, where Michigan was able to retire 2 and then have Austin Martin come to the bat with none on and 2 out. That's the way you want to see him. I mean, really, realistically, you never just want to see Austin Martin up to bat, but if you have to, you want none on, 2 out, and with the lead like Michigan did yesterday. Instead, it's a tie ball game. They've scored every first inning. They've scored 2 out of 4 second innings, but they've been shut out through the first 2 so far.
Martin, right-hander, stands all the way back at the very back end of the box towards the catcher. First pitch breaking ball gets through the legs of Joe Donovan. Moving up to second is Julian Infante. Might go down as a wild pitch, but that one feels almost like a pass ball there on Donovan. And the count's going to be 1-0 on Austin Martin with a chance to drive in that first run of the ball game.
Yep, Michigan cannot have any self-inflicted wounds with the way Kumar Rocker is dealing. I don't know how he has 5 losses on the season.
He's a freshman, is a little bit inconsistent. He's been on fire recently. Well, plenty of time to talk about him in the bottom halves of the innings, or maybe not so much time given how quickly he's working. Isaiah Page in a little bit of trouble here, though. Runner on second, 1 out in the 3rd. He steps off the mound here, gets on the same page with Joe Donovan. Donovan's got to jog out to the mound and use up one of the mound visits for the Wolverines.
Yeah, have to recalibrate things after that pitch that did go by Donovan. Not sure if it's a pass ball or wild pitch yet, but either way, runner in scoring position, 1 out for Austin Martin. He did strike him out last time, but .404 batting average, 105 hits on the season. The senior could score, has a very high chance of scoring after one swing of the bat here from Austin Martin. And then J.J. Blede due up next now that the double play is basically out of question.
Page comes set, checks the runner, who takes a hopping lead. This is a soft ground ball up the middle. Jack Blomgren makes the play in front of Akela Thomas beyond the second base bag, throws to first just in time to get Martin. Austin Martin wants review, but he looked out from up here. We'll see if they do give him a review. Moving up to third on the play was Infante.
Don't think they're going to review it from the way all the umps are staying at their bases, but that was nearly another catastrophic error for Michigan as Akeo Thomas and Jack Blomgren nearly collided at the bag. Ultimately, they escaped, though, and Michigan 1 out away from escaping here, as they're now showing J.J. Blede's homer that made it a 1-run ball game yesterday. Unfortunately for him, Jimmy Kerr stole the show with a 2-run homer in the next inning.
Tim Corbin not leaving the dugout for Vanderbilt, so they'll let the ground out stand. But the first run of the ball game just 90 feet away here, top of the 3rd, 2 outs for J.J. Blede. Blede worked a long full count at bat last time in the first inning against Page, 8 pitches before flying out to center. First pitch this time is hit high in the air down the right field line. It's hooking near the right field line, and that's going to get into the stands foul.
There is basically no wind today, but all those Vandy balls are winding up in right field regardless, just right of the first base line.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing if you're Isaiah Page. Just means you have the Vanderbilt hitters out in front. They're not really timing up your stuff quite yet. But you got to figure he's probably not going to get many times through the order, as Angelo Smith already warming up in the Michigan bullpen. Page comes set, 0-1 pitch, misses outside, ball 1.
Interesting to see Angelo Smith warm up. I think most Michigan fans assumed that Jeff Criswell would be the first to relieve Page, and then maybe Kaufman after him if things are going well for Michigan.
Page looking in for the sign from Donovan, trying to prevent that go-ahead run from scoring on third. That was Julian Infante, who had a 1-out single. Page looks over at Infante, now steps off. He's going to get a new sign from Donovan in a minute. Michigan shifting heavily. They have 3 infielders on the right side of second base, including Akeo Thomas out in shallow right field. Blake Nelson playing just about halfway between third and second. Blede hits one in the air towards left center field. Ranging over is Christian Bullock on the run. He makes the grab in the left center field gap, using that speed of his to retire the side here in the 3rd. So despite the 1-out single and Vanderbilt getting a runner to third, they do not score here in the top of the 3rd. We'll head to the bottom half. The score, Vanderbilt 0, Michigan 0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports.
And he's not out of the woods yet, but he survived one of the deadliest parts of that Vanderbilt lineup. I think Page should have at least another one inning in him, and if he does well in the next one, he can set himself up for another inning and avoid the top of that Vandy lineup. This one is rolling along, 6:19 start, but we're only at 6:56 right now through 2.5.
And I guess some shout-outs to people listening all across the U.S. and all across the globe here to Michigan baseball on this magical run. We appreciate you turning in WCBN Sports coverage. I know our colleagues and former colleagues, Leo Blavin in Crookston, Minnesota, Jimmy Parks in Kingston, Ontario. Got a shout-out here for Hornsby Bend, Texas, as well as I know people listening back home in the Chicagoland area. And Jacob listening down in Quincy, Illinois as well. And about time here in the middle of third inning, we're going to give our Planet Subs Omaha trivia question of the game. Get a little more participation here in our YouTube chat. You can find it on the right side of the screen if you're listening on the desktop. Find it just below the video if you're on your phone or on your mobile device. And Daniel Thompson, take it away.
Last night, Michigan's victory over Vanderbilt represented just the third time in College World Series history that a Big Ten team defeated an SEC school here in Omaha. In just the third time of the College World Series history. What was the most recent time before last night that happened? You can get either the matchup, which Big Ten team beat which SEC team, or maybe even the year. That's the question. The last Big Ten team to beat an SEC team in the College World Series, the year, the matchup, and remember, teams have shifted conferences around a lot throughout the ages, so don't get fooled by it. No internet, don't go around looking for it. But if you know, tell us in the comments if you have a guess. Just, we'd like to hear your guess. The last time a Big Ten school beat an SEC school in Omaha before last night.
That's a tough one. I'll have to think about that one for a half inning, too.
Yeah, you
might just want to. Jack Blomgren's going to lead things off here, bottom of the third. Takes the first pitch fastball from Rocker for a strike, 0-1. And you have to imagine Michigan's going to start hopping on these first pitch fastballs, trying to do some damage to Rocker before he gets him deep in the count and can really break off that slider. He winds up working quickly. 0-1 pitch to Blomgren. Off speed, misses high. It's 1-1.
Yep, Blomgren's a guy who had 3 infield singles yesterday, so I'm sure he's itching to make any kind of contact he can. Put it in play. You never know what can happen. Maybe hit one toward Austin Martin's way again. It's been working for him.
1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball. This one is hit towards Austin Martin and into left field for a base hit. Past the diving Austin Martin. Blomgren gets the first hit for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the third. Runner on first. Nobody on. Michigan looking to take an early lead.
And that's exactly what the doctor ordered. Vanderbilt draws blood for the first time last inning versus Isaiah Page, and now Michigan gets their first hit, breaking up both no-hitter campaigns. Kumar Rocker is a guy where basically every time he comes up, you're seeing how long he can make it. 2 innings is the answer. Michigan gets the leadoff runner. That has gone very well for them so far, and Joe Donovan, one of the 2 home run hitters for Michigan yesterday, steps up to the plate.
Joe Donovan, right-hander against the right-hander throwing Rocker. Short lead for Blomgren over at first base. Rocker comes set. First pitch. Joint late on the bunt is Joe Donovan. He deadens it right down the first base line. On the run is the catcher, Clark. He throws just in time to get Joe Donovan. Great play there by the catcher. And moves Blomgren up to second base.
That's what you do when Kumar Rocker is dealing. And Joe Donovan almost hit that one too softly. That ball he basically laid to rest 2 feet in front of the plate. Trinkles along the first base line. If there was a bit more force under that, maybe it would have rolled foul, but he might have given himself a chance to get on. But still, Michigan, runner in scoring position. You need these opportunities. And Akeo Thomas, he has had a lot of senior moments in this tournament run. We'll see if anything is here for him. Michigan has led first in every single game here in Omaha.
Runner on second, 1 out. No score here in the bottom of the third inning. Michigan's 9-hitter Akeo Thomas stepping to the plate for his first looks against Kumar Rocker. Freshman to senior, Rocker comes set with the glove up by his right shoulder. First pitch is a fastball inside. Akeo Thomas kind of slides back out of the way, and it's 1-0 on the diminutive second baseman. Rocker stands up on the mound at 6'4", 255, the freshman out of Athens, Georgia. Faces the 5'7", second baseman Akeo Thomas out of Chicago, Illinois. Blomgren short lead at second being held over by Ray. As Rocker comes set, 1-0 pitch. Misses high in it with the fastball again. It's 2-0 now on Thomas. The Vanderbilt defensive alignment across the outfield today. Steven Scott's in left. Center and right field are manned by Pat DeMarco and J.J. Blade. Left side of the infield, Austin Martin and Ethan Paul. Right side is Harrison Ray and Julian Infante with Philip Clark behind the plate for Kumar Rocker. Michigan's in their all whites, tops and bottoms, blue lettering, maize trimming. Vanderbilt's got their black uniforms with the gold pinstripes and gold numbers on them. Rocker's going to come set here, ready for a 2-0 delivery to Akeo Thomas. Chucks the runner. Now fires. Fastball call, strike one on the outside edge. It's 2-1.
Yep, interesting duality here seen in all of the uniforms. Of course, Big Ten versus SEC. Favorites versus underdogs. It's really the yin and the yang showing a lot today. Almost symbolic. Michigan in their whites versus Vanderbilt in their blacks. Really highlighting the contrast between these two teams and their roads to Omaha.
Rocker gun comes set. Big jump by Blomgren at second before the pitch was thrown and a fastball is fired low, ball 3.
Looked like he was just trying to play some mind games there, getting the catcher's head, getting Rocker's head, maybe force an errant throw back to second. It would be wonderful if Michigan could get into a position where they can have a sac fly to drive in a run versus Kumar Rocker, but for now, with a 3-1 count, I don't think we're going to see Blomgren go.
Could be a favorable pitch here for Akeo Thomas. He gets something he can hit here from Kumar Rocker, which is, again, easier said than done. Rocker comes set, 3-1 offering. Fastball called, strike on the inside corner. Thomas thought it was ball 4, started to flip his bat and jog down towards first base, but stopped right behind the plate, and the count's full.
And we're in a very terrible position to make those calls where we're sitting, but that is the most surprising call either way I've seen in this championship series. I really did think Akeo Thomas was ready, safe to walk to first after that one.
Looked a little high and tight, but as it stands, it's a full count. And Rocker's ready for a 3-2 with Blomgren dancing at second. The pitch. Off speed, just getting a piece of it off the end of the bat and staying alive is Akeo Thomas. He was out in front of that breaking ball and literally got it off the end of the bat. Fouled it back towards the catcher, Clark. Bounced around for a second. Thomas gets second life here on 3-2.
Still 0-0 for just joining us. Michigan has their first batter around the bases right now. Jack Blomgren on second. Full count for Akeo Thomas.
Rocker's going to step off for a second here. Get on the same page with his catcher, Clark.
And there you have it. Akeo Thomas fouls off on a full count. Disrupts Rocker's rhythm just a little bit.
Rocker at 33 pitches here with 1 out in the third. Thomas waiting pitch number 7 of this plate appearance. Here it comes. Off speed, misses high, ball 4.
Never a doubt about that one. I think Akeo Thomas would have been safe to walk a few pitches ago, but I think he'll take that result and instead. Does burn a few more pitches on Rocker's arm. As Jordan Wogu comes up to the bat. Both bigger guys here now. The diminutive Akeo Thomas surviving his at-bat with Kumar Rocker. Jordan Wogu, a high school football player with D1 offers, and Kumar Rocker, a guy whose dad played football at Auburn. I mixed that up. Wrong SEC school. Didn't play at Vandy, but Auburn. His dad did. That's why Kumar Rocker, born in Alabama, really from Athens, Georgia, though.
We're going to get a mound visit here before Jordan Wogu comes up to the dish by Scott Brown, associate head coach for Vanderbilt, and the guy that works with the pitching staff. The entire infield comes in. Jesse Franklin, before Jordan Wogu stepped up towards the plate here with a couple of runners on, nobody out in the third, gave Jordan Wogu a little pat, kind of encouraging him, telling him, all right, here we go. Time to get something done for the freshman that has had a couple of hits here, especially early on, but hasn't looked like himself. During the season, getting on base at over 400 clip. So far here in this College World Series, his numbers not quite as high. The official numbers for him, he's 5 for 18, so 278 batting average. Getting on base 381 clip, which is still good, but not the Jordan Wogu we came to learn about during the regular season.
Nope, as Rocker, I mean, we're through 2 1/3 right now for Rocker, 3 for Page, and Page has had the better game on the stat sheet. Now, I think Rocker has impressed scouts more razzle-dazzle a bit more, but Page yet to walk a guy.
I mean, Rocker also has a couple more strikeouts there.
Yeah. True.
I don't know if you can say necessarily better stat line, but certainly a little bit different way they're going about their business. Rocker will look for a big strikeout here, a double play ball perhaps with 2 runners on. First pitch, Jordan Wogu was a fastball swung on and missed, strike 1.
Yep, Jordan Wogu could be that batter to break the deadlock here for Michigan. It's going to take a heroic moment to get to Rocker here, maybe get him thinking a bit too much. Michigan has at least driven up that pitch count a little bit. Number 36 on the way in an 0-0 ball game.
Wogu struck out against Rocker in the first after fouling off a couple two-strike pitches. It's down in the count 0-1 here. Rocker checks the runner Blomgren at second. Now fires. Fastball misses low and away. Ball one.
Yeah, Pikeo Thomas was able to stay ahead of his count with Rocker and cashed in the rewards. Got up to a 3-1 count before ultimately walking.
Wogu almost sits down in that batter's box as he waits for Rocker. Has those hands very comfortably down near his hip before loading them back as Rocker comes set and gets into his motion. Going now is Blomgren and Thomas. The ball is hit towards third. Bobbled over by Austin Martin. Wogu's running towards first. He's going to get Wogu as Wogu trips over the bag and looks hurt.
Oh, and that's a really unfortunate result for Wogu. He should have hustled a bit more out of the batter's box, too, it looks like, but tripped up now, and he looks like he's in pain. You got to hope this is just one where he wasn't expecting to go to the ground and the wind is knocked out of him.
He's holding his left thigh. It looked like his last step towards the bag, his cleat might have gotten caught or something. It did not look good for Jordan Wogu as he came crashing to the ground. Trainer Kim Hill out to take a look. Eric Bakich and first base coach Michael Berdar right there as well. At this point, you're hoping he just tweaked something maybe in that thigh. Not any serious pulls or any sort of muscle or ligament damage.
Yep, it wasn't a collision that makes you think serious long-term injury, maybe just something that really is stinging for the time being. Can't really tell from his reaction.
It definitely was not the collision, hitting the ground that did the damage. It was that last step before he got to the first base bag that was really the problem, and he's being helped to his feet by Bakich, Berdar, and Kim Hill, and he's not going to be able to walk off under his own power. Not a good sign for the Wolverines and for Jordan Wogu. Can't put any weight on that left leg. Nope. Being carried off by Hill and Bakich. We wish all the best to Jordan Wogu.
And of course he is the designated hitter, so that might give him a bit more time to get the test he needs to see. I don't know if he has any desire to re-enter this one. This could be a serious ankle injury from the way this looks. It could also just be something that's really stinging, but
you hate to see it, but that definitely looks like a serious, perhaps knee injury or thigh injury for Jordan Wogu. He has not put any weight on that left leg at all since going to the ground. He immediately went to clutch it. Jesse Franklin gives him a little tap on the backside as he's headed back towards the dugout, but I don't expect to see Jordan Wogu anymore in this game, or if we should go to tomorrow's game. Don't expect to see him anymore. Logical replacement, probably Dominic Clementi, but we'll see later on when that need arises. For now, we just wish all the best to Jordan Wogu as he makes his way back into the clubhouse or locker room area, get some tests done. Hopefully he is all right.
And so late in the season, you have to think that you might be a win for Michigan if it's an injury that doesn't take him out at the beginning of next season either. Of course, we saw the Golden State Warriors in the NBA championship a few weeks ago unravel due to long-term injuries that are going to affect their stars next year, and that might be a win for Michigan if it's only a couple months or a couple weeks type of injury.
First pitch to Jesse Franklin. Strike one. It's 0-1. We're getting reports. Look like he might have pulled something in his thigh or his groin, pulled a muscle perhaps. We hope that's the extent of the injury and not anything a little bit farther down near the knee where things get a little dicey. Jesse Franklin now 2 runners on in scoring position, second and third, 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Scoreless ball game between Vanderbilt and Michigan. Righty-lefty, Franklin swings and misses at an off-speed pitch, and it's 0-2. Franklin flew out to left field in the first inning. Second pitch he saw from Rocker. There's a routine play out there for Scott. And now you hear Vanderbilt fans getting on their feet, cheering on Kumar Rocker, trying to get out of this inning without any damage.
Yeah, we've heard a bit more action from the Whistler, too, today. There are 2 Whistlers. It's believed to be the second Whistler who is now in Omaha.
0-2 pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Franklin goes down on strikes. That's strikeout number 6 on the day for Rocker. And Michigan does not score despite getting 2 runners into scoring position in the third inning. We head to inning number 4. 0-0 is the score between Michigan and Vanderbilt here in Game 2 of the College World Series Finals. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball here on WCBN Sports. We thank you for tuning in today and obviously giving the events a last inning. Wish all our best to Jordan Wogu. A few more shout-outs to give out here. People listening in Chicago, Hanover Park, Coldwater, Michigan, Ann Arbor, Cincinnati, Cadillac, Michigan as well.
West Sacramento just hopping in here. Three Rivers, Michigan.
And Daniel, I think given how long that last half inning was, I think we're about ready here for our answer to our Planet Subs Omaha trivia question.
Yeah, I'm seeing one answer. Didn't Michigan beat Florida a few years ago in the CWS? No, it's been 35 years for Michigan, so no time soon. It was all the way back in 1956, an SEC team last fell to a Big Ten team. Minnesota defeated Ole Miss 15-3 in the third round of the 1956 College World Series. Before there were two separate brackets. Minnesota would have been a good guess for your Big Ten team. The most championships for any Big Ten team. Michigan could tie them tonight, though, as if they can get that fourth win for a Big Ten team over an SEC school. And the first time, and only the third time a Big Ten team rather, has beaten an SEC school was way back in 1950, back when Wisconsin beat Alabama. Wisconsin doesn't play baseball anymore. That gives you a sense for how long it's been. And Rutgers was actually in that College World Series too. Of course, not a member of the Big Ten yet. Their only College World Series appearance way back in 1950, the first year it was in Omaha. So that really puts Michigan's run in perspective here. They could double the amount of times Michigan, or rather a Big Ten school, has knocked off an SEC team.
Another shout out, Marietta, Georgia here listening in. Wolverines all across the country listening to see if Michigan can do the unthinkable. At least it was unthinkable a month ago. First pitch to Ethan Paul leading off the fourth inning here from Isaiah Page is bouncing in the dirt. 1-0 is the count. We're scoreless between Michigan and Vanderbilt. Michigan's up 1-0 in this best-of-3 series to determine the 2019 men's baseball national champion. As joining Angelo Smith is Ben Kaiser in the bullpen. The second pitch is grounded over towards second base. K.O. Thomas backhands the ball, throws to Jimmy Curran. Plenty of time to record out number one here in the top of the fourth.
Michigan has played about two-thirds of baseball on defense with facing a deficit or just without a lead even here in the College World Series. They have been up for a very considerable portion, but the defense does not look phased one bit as their offense has been held scoreless through three for the first time all College World Series long.
Yeah, I believe if you're counting up the outs and putting it into innings, I think it's been 4 total innings that Michigan has trailed in this entire College World Series, or been tied. Sorry, trailed or tied in this entire College World Series. First pitch breaking ball, called strike to Philip Clark right at the knees from Isaiah Page. 0-1 is the count. Obviously, 3 of those innings coming today. The other 2 were just a couple half innings you had to piece together against Texas Tech and Florida State. Isaiah Page looks in for the sign here, ready for the 0-1 to Philip Clark, who flew out in his first at-bat. This time he lines one over the head of K.O. Thomas. I think it might have clipped the top of his glove. That'll get into right field for a base hit here. 1 gone in the fourth. Runner on first. Vanderbilt trying to scratch across the first run of the game.
Yep, Thomas nearly got there at 5-7. He really has to get up for that one. Can't quite get to it and almost makes a dangerous deflection. Lucky for him, he didn't get too much of it, and it didn't really diverge too far from Jordan Brewer, so they limited it to a single. If that one had gone a little bit differently, might have rolled off his glove along and it maybe crossed the first base line if things got dicey.
That could have deadened it enough where it got into that no man's land between the right fielder, second baseman, and first baseman. Maybe gotten a double out of it with Clark. But as it stands, just the runner on first for Pat DeMarco at the plate. First pitch breaking ball to him is downstairs, 1-0. DeMarco went down on 4 pitches, swung and missed. First strike 3 against Page in the second. Double barrel action for Michigan in that left field bullpen. As I said, Smith and Ben Kaiser. 2 arms that have yet to see time here in the College World Series, as everybody in the Michigan bullpen has. 1-0 pitch, slider, swinging and a miss, strike 1.
Yep, Page getting up there in the pitch count now, 48. Not usually a starter, isn't going to be expected to go 80 or 90 pitches. But so far, I mean, Michigan might hope that could be the case today with the way he's been dealing.
Page has looked very good, but again, you don't want to stretch him out too long. Don't want to be too late to pull the plug, is Eric Bakich. He comes set, 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, blew the fastball by him there. Well, that was off speed. Just had him swing right over the top of it. It counts 1-2 on DeMarco. Page has these Vanderbilt hitters guessing at this point. He's got a variety of stuff that moves, dips, gets away from the barrel of the bat. It's one of the most important things as a pitcher that you can do. Page comes set, 1-2 pitch, fouled back over the screen out of play, remains 1-2.
And perhaps that's part of the strategy of putting Page in here for Coach Bakich. Page, I don't think a pitcher that Vanderbilt was too much prepared for. I mean, this announcement that he's pitching coming only hours before game time, I'm sure most Vandy batters prepared for Jeff Criswell.
Jeff Criswell been more of a reliever in this postseason, in this College World Series run. We've seen him three times so far in this College World Series. Pitched in relief all 3 times, and a call, strike 3 on the fastball from Isaiah Page, right on the inside corner. Got Pat DeMarco for the second time today, and there's 2 outs at the top of the 4th.
And rings up his 4th batter of the day. Now 2 outs with the runner on first. Isaiah Page continuing to put himself in favorable positions. Only has had 1 runner on in scoring position. Really solid performance for him. He's not going to go the distance, even if that was the game plan, which I am very confident wasn't. He's just not being efficient enough with his pitches to get to that point right now. But through 3 2/3, 51 pitches thrown, and no runs conceded, only 2 hits too.
0-0 the score as Page throws a first pitch breaking ball, swung on and missed by Steven Scott. It's 0-1. Scott reached on the air by Jimmy Kerr in the second inning, but ultimately was stranded at first base. Kerr trying to backhand the ball, just pulled the glove a little bit too quickly. It ticked off the bottom and got past him.
And Scott also had that ball that went just a few yards to the right of the foul pole. Got the Vandy fans booing.
0-1 pitch. Misses low. Donovan stops it and keeps Clark at first base. The count is 1-1.
Yep, Donovan quickly recognized that. Got low to block that ball well before it reached home plate.
Clark over on first base. Not a big stolen base threat is the catcher. 3 stolen bases on the year in 5 attempts. Vanderbilt, like Michigan, an aggressive team on the base paths. Haven't been terribly aggressive in this College World Series thus far. As a swing and a miss at a breaking ball comes up empty. It's 1-2 now on Scott.
And yeah, I really don't think Vanderbilt is quite prepared for Isaiah Page. That one, a really impressive breaking ball, but that dipped low, and still he got Scott chasing. Didn't even check his swing when that one was way too low to really be turned into anything positive for Scott.
Especially for a lefty, if you can get him swinging and miss at those low pitches, you kind of bait him into it. They like those low pitches, a lot of lefties do. And he swings and misses at another breaking ball and misses low. Strike 3, Isaiah Page pumped as he comes off the mound. He gets strikeout number 5 on the day. And Vanderbilt's retired here in the 4th. They get a single but strand the runner on first. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning. The score, Vanderbilt 0, Michigan 0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball here on WCBN Sports.
And that one is even lower. I really just don't think Vanderbilt was at all prepared for Isaiah Page. And when I first heard this announcement, Eric Bakich has been very forward. He's been saying that they're going to pitch like there's no tomorrow. They're not going to worry about tomorrow's game, win the games they can. And that makes a lot of sense in Game 2 when you're up 1-0 and can win the College World Series tonight. Just erase that game that could be happening tomorrow. But I did think that Page decision might have been Eric Bakich thinking, hey, Kumar Rocker is due up. He's been as hot as anyone over the past few months in college baseball. Maybe want to play the numbers game, go against a pitcher and try to get the win, bring your best stuff up for Game 3, have Criswell and Kaufman ready for Game 3 against a more favorable pitching matchup. But Isaiah Page has delivered Michigan everything they could ask for. The offense has yet to follow suit, but through 4 innings, he's got the bottom of the Vanderbilt lineup due up next. I think it's very much the expectation he goes 5. We'll see if either he tries to go for 6, if he can finish that 5th inning, or maybe who comes in to start the 6th. But Isaiah Page giving Michigan everything they could ask for, but the offense unable to do anything to get things going. But the Big Ten Player of the Year, who had a phenomenal game last night and got in a bit of a flexing match with head coach Eric Bakich in the press conference. They were right next to each other, kind of bumped elbows, and then I guess just tried to show off their triceps to each other.
I think they were just fighting for elbow space there. Isaiah Page was off on Eric Bakich's left side in the press conference, and both kind of had their hands on their hips and both nudging each other, trying to get that coveted elbow space between the crowded stage. There were 4 Wolverine players up on the stage yesterday, and of course head coach Eric Bakich. Normally only see a couple, but they brought everybody out there for the College World Series final.
And who doesn't want to talk about it when you win the first game of the College World Series championship?
First pitch here, Rocker to Brewer is a fastball, misses low. 1-0 is the count, as you said, on the Big Ten Player of the Year. Brewer went down on strikes 3 pitches. Chased a breaking ball low in his last at-bat. Now the 1-0 offering. Fastball misses down and away, ball 2.
So already showing improvement in this one, as Rocker in that last inning didn't quite bring the stuff he had in the first 2.
Yeah, stuff seems to be not fooling the Wolverines as much the second time through the order. Now they see him a little bit, seen that breaking ball, see the way it drops off the plate, maybe picking it up just slightly better. 2-0 pitch. Fastball hit high in the air towards shallow right field. Going back now, coming in is Blade, and he makes a diving grab in right field. That ball was much shallower than Blade originally thought, and he almost didn't get there in time, but ultimately makes the grab.
Yep, ultimately has to make an athletic play, and really didn't need to, just mistimed it at the beginning. That one is way shallower, and there's a gentle breeze, but the flags are not moving a bit, but the balls just seem to kind of all be dying there in shallow right field. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, as you said, not really much wind. The flag pulls out in center. Flag's just dead, facing straight down. We don't really feel anything up here on the roof on the first base side, except for a nice breeze to keep us cool and a bit of a humid weather. Jimmy Kerr steps in. First pitch to him, and his second at-bat of the day is a called strike with the fastball 0-1.
Yep, did not look good in his first at-bat either, but Jordan Brewer looked much improved the second time through, and we'll see what Kerr has up to for us.
0-1 pitch, another fastball. This one misses down and in. It's 1-1. Yeah, Kerr went up in the count 3-0, then watched a fastball and swung and missed at 2 fastballs from Rocker. Struck out as the third victim for Rocker today. 1-1 offering this time. Another fastball misses high and away, ball 2. Almost exclusively fastballs here in this 4th inning so far from Rocker.
And we'll see what the home run leader here in Omaha and the home run leader for this Wolverine team can do to get things going. 1 out, Blake Nelson, who's batted Kerr home several times already, due up.
2-1 pitch on the outside corner, another fastball, and it's 2-2.
As Rocker is approaching 50, number 48 coming. We'll see if Michigan can at least drive that pitch count up and maybe take him out of the game eventually.
2-2 breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Kerr stands there, watches 4 pitches, gets in 2-strike count on swings and misses at that nasty slider, the first one that Rocker's thrown here in the 4th, and there's 2 outs. Still scoreless between Vanderbilt and Michigan in the bottom of the 4th inning. That'll bring up Blake Nelson, who went down on 3 pitches, striking out against Rocker in the 2nd inning. Rocker's strikeout total up to 7 on the day. First pitch to Blake Nelson. Here's a high fastball, 1-0.
As we're still scoreless through 3 2/3, or top of the 4th already held scoreless, and now we're in the bottom of the 4th, 2 out, none on.
Nelson pops this one up to the right side. That'll get into the stands, out of play. Even the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Nelson had a couple hits yesterday. 2 for 5 day, RBI, driving home Jimmy Kerr in the 1st inning. Also struck out a couple times as well. Had a rough day with the sun over at 3rd. No such sun today. The breaking ball on 1-1 as a strike. 1-2.
Yep, there was some slight chance of rain in the forecast right about now, but does not look like these clouds are going to rain over Omaha, maybe a few miles down the road.
We don't want to jinx anything yet. Knock on wood here. Blake Nelson's down 1-2. Vanderbilt fans making some noise. The 1-2 pitch. High fastball. Nelson thought about swinging, but it was a little high and tight, and he held up. It's 2-2.
Yep, Blake Nelson having a pretty nice season himself. 301 with 69 hits on the year. We'll see if he can maybe get number 2 for the day for Michigan.
Winding up, 2-2 offering from Rocker. Breaking ball, hit on the ground towards the left side. Fielding over there is Ethan Paul. He bobbles it, gets to the bare hand, throws to first, not in time.
Yep, no question about that. We saw Jordan Brewer squeeze one out in a review yesterday, but that one, without a doubt, that bobble is too much to beat Nelson to the bag, and he gets hit number 70 on the season.
We'll see if that is officially scored a hit or an error there on Vanderbilt. I believe it is going to go down as an error on the shortstop, Paul.
Yeah, second look, he really did have a good chance to ground that one cleanly. Body kind of shielding the ball for me on that hit, and I do have to agree. They haven't officially ruled on it yet, but it
is officially an error there on the board. 1 error on Vanderbilt, first one of the day, puts a runner on first base, 2 outs. Michigan looking maybe strike with the first run of the day. Little 2-out rally. Christian Bullock's up for the 2nd time today. He struck out against Rocker the first time and takes the first pitch fastball outside. Pickoff throw behind Blake Nelson from the catcher is not in time.
Nelson definitely a candidate to steal here with 2 out in the bottom of the 4th.
And Michigan just trying to get something going here. If you can get Nelson to second base, a guy who's perfect on stolen base attempts after he stole his 16th base and 16 tries in yesterday's ball game. Righty-lefty, Rocker steps off, and Nelson back in standing without a throw.
And, of course, the only other Wolverine to get a hit so far today, Jack Blomgren, in the batter's circle, so we'll see if Christian Bullock can get on base here.
Rocker comes set, righty-lefty. 1-0 is the count. Fastball misses outside, 2-0 is the count now.
Walks have been Bullock's most effective way of getting on base here in Omaha, but he did get his first extra base hit of the College World Series with a double yesterday into shallow center field, really just showing off his speed, beating the ball into second base with some time to spare even.
Yeah, leading off that ninth inning with a double. Looked like Michigan might be able to tack on insurance. They ultimately did not. They're trying to get their first run of the ball game here and break a scoreless tie. 2-0 pitch. Nelson faking, stealing second. Taking a pitch for a strike is Bullock. Fastball in the outside corner makes it 2-1.
Yeah, Michigan 4 for 4 in drawing first blood here in Omaha. Now number 5 trying to make it a perfect 5 for 5. And maybe end it at 5. Michigan looking to have a short trip here in Omaha, staying for a while, but might play the minimum number of games that they can win tonight.
Rocker comes set. 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball outside corner, strike 2.
Yep, Bullock already struck out once today. Could be number 8 for Rocker out of a maximal 12. That is something else if he can do that. Maybe not quite a 19 strikeout performance, but it's getting up there.
He can get awfully close on a pace to get awfully close to that. He can get Bullock here for strikeout number 8. Comes set. Steps off. Blake Nelson again back in standing without a throw.
Yep, that's another way to disrupt Rocker's momentum. Get a guy on base and just toy with him. Threaten stealing that base, maybe actually go for it. No one is close to the second base bag right now of the Vandy infielders.
Rocker comes set, looks in. 2-2 pitch. Nelson going on the play. High and away fastball. Nelson's going to be into second base as the throw was errant. Great diving play by Paul to keep that ball out of center field. But Nelson's in scoring position with a 3-2 count on Bullock.
Yep, Nelson dove. So I'm not sure if he had time to get up and run to third if that one was errant, but there was a real risk there. Paul making a great diving play, keeping Nelson at bay, but runner in scoring position now.
Honestly, that throw didn't look too bad on replay. It looked like it was probably right on the money, but Paul was late getting to second base and had to kind of dive across the bag to grab that ball before getting into center. Might have had a shot to get Nelson, but as it stands, Nelson now 17 for 17 on stolen bases this year. Christian Bullock with a chance to drive in the first run of the game. 2 outs, full count. Rocker comes set, the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, ball 4. Check swing did not go around, says third base umpire Scott Klein. And Michigan's got 2 runners on, 2 outs in the 4th.
Yep, Clark tried to sell it. Begged with third base umpire, but didn't get it, and now the only other man to get a hit. It was a shallow one. Wouldn't drive Nelson home for sure, but
I think it'd be an aggressive send by Nick Schnaub with the way Rocker's pitching.
Yes. With 1 out, I think that one probably doesn't score Nelson, but with 2, and the way he's been running the bases all year round, I think Nelson has the green light to go, go, go. As Paul is playing deeper near where that single was driven in earlier from Blomgren.
Blomgren put a ground ball through the left side back in the 3rd inning, just last inning, against Rocker to lead things off in that inning. He gets a high hop fly to the right side. That will get into the stands out of play. It's actually going to bounce off the roof here and come down in playable territory for us.
Yep.
We'll go possibly snag that in a second. Well, actually, no security guard can go snag that in a second here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get to that one, but Blomgren happy that one goes way out of play, doesn't get him out. We'll see if he can maybe get the RBI.
0-1 is the count on Blomgren, though. Rocker up in the count, exactly what he wanted to start out with here with a couple runners on. Getting in a jam with 2 runners on and 2 outs, second straight inning. Going on the plate now is Nelson and Bullock. Pitches low. Both runners going to be in without a throw.
Well, no question anymore. If Blomgren does get a single, barring something very bizarre, it will score. And Christian Bullock, if any kind of single is going to score him from second usually. Blomgren, a .315 hitter, not a power hitter by any stretch of the imagination, though only 12 extra base hits on the year. So 62 singles on the year, and that can make it a 2-0 game as Michigan has weathered the storm of Kumar Rocker and Isaiah Page starting, and they are close now to maybe busting this one open to a multi-run lead.
1-1 pitch bounces in the dirt to Blomgren. It's 2-1 now with that breaking ball. Nelson now 18 for 18 on stolen base attempts. He's over there at third. Christian Bullock at second. trying to score the first couple runs of the ball game for the Wolverines and in this ball game overall. Michigan get a dent here in Kumar Rocker in the fourth. That'd be a huge, huge blow here in game 2 of this best-of-3 series. Righty to righty. Rocker to Blomgren. 2-1 count, the pitch. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball in the dirt, strike 2. Great pitch there by Rocker in a fastball count. Gets Blomgren chasing, and it's 2-2. Now a great chance for Rocker to get out of it. Looking for strikeout number 8 on the day.
Yep, pitch number 64 coming. He's not going to get a complete game unless he really gets efficient here, but Michigan needs to take advantage here. They stranded 12 yesterday. They can draw first blood right now, though, with 2 in scoring position, much like last inning with 2 out.
Rocker comes set. Blomgren, the shortstop, ready at the plate. Freshman to sophomore, 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses low, ball 3. Almost got a chase out of Blomgren. Looked like he wanted to swing, but laid off at the last second.
Yep, recognizing that pitch just want to go and learns not to go for it. It does look like Michigan is wised up to Kumar's tactics here. Bases loaded wouldn't be a bad result for Blomgren either.
Rocker comes set. Righty-righty matchup here. Couple runners in scoring position. Full count pitch. It's the ground ball towards the left side. Feel it over there by Paul. He throws to first base in time for out number 3. Rocker works out of a jam after putting a couple runners on an error and a walk with 2 outs. We'll head to the 5th inning. Still scoreless between Vanderbilt and Michigan. You are listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports.
As we saw Christian Bullock leap over that ball, he got hit by one of Blomgren's balls and got thrown out for runner's interference earlier in the CWS. Wising up to that one, but ultimately Blomgren was going to need an error of some sort that could have maybe scored 2 had the ball been thrown over the first baseman's head or anything like that. Michigan giving themselves a chance here, making contact with runners in scoring position, but ultimately they're either going to need help from Vanderbilt or really get an extra base hit. Still only singles on the day for both teams. And we'll see what Isaiah Satchel Page does here. One of our listeners giving him that nickname right now. Credit to Jay Deese. Hope I'm saying that right. Isaiah Page or Satchel Page. So I wonder if that might be someone you know then, huh? Falco, if you're so confidently giving me the green light there.
Isaiah Page is going to take the mound here in the top of the 5th inning, still trucking along for the Michigan Wolverines. His leash probably not terribly long with Ben Kaiser still warming up in the bullpen. Looks just about ready to go whenever he needs to. If Page works himself into trouble here, I think he gets till the second time through the order. Doubt he faces the top of the order a 3rd time unless he goes 1, 2, 3 here in the 5th. Then maybe Bakich thinks about giving him a shot in the 6th, but Page's longest outing this year is only 5 innings.
And he is coming up on that. That's the goal, at least, get through 5 here. I really do doubt he'd have a 3rd trip through the lineup, but he's looked excellent so far. But I think right now the plan for Michigan is just to use all the arms in the bullpen today, and then, if necessary, ride it out with Criswell and Kaufman. I wonder who'd get the start there between those two. They both looked excellent in Omaha, and both would be having pretty good rest. I really don't think yesterday's usage is keeping Criswell out of this game, maybe just more strategy. Only threw 10 pitches yesterday. He threw 9 in the Los Angeles Super Regional before starting the very next day.
Yeah, Page's longest outing is 5 innings on the season. He's about to start his 5th inning of action here. Already set a career and season high for strikeout game. He's got 5. His previous high was 4. First pitch to Harrison Ray is a bunt foul. Goes right to that left-handed batter's box and rolls away. It's 0-1 on the speedy second baseman for Vanderbilt. Still scoreless, Michigan and Vanderbilt here in Game 2 of the College World Series Finals. Austin Falco alongside Daniel Thompson.
Some respect for the redshirt freshman there, getting a leadoff bunt with the way he's been dealing.
Harrison Reyes tried that bunt a few times. Tried it a couple times yesterday against Tommy Henry, and now swings and misses on a breaking ball that wasn't particularly close to the zone. And now it's 0-2.
And he is a speedy guy, too, so those bunts can frequently pay off for him.
Michigan's at the infield playing back now with an 0-2 count on Ray. If he can get it in fair territory, he probably has himself a hit. Of course, the caveat there is you got to get it in fair territory. So fastball misses off the plate away, 1-2.
And right now, Isaiah Page has a chance to maybe get ahead of Rocker in the pitch count. Rocker got all the way up into the high 60s at the end of that one. Page right now at 58, a quick inning, could actually have him ahead of Rocker with one more inning pitched.
1-2 pitch, breaking ball, low and away. Check swing over there by Ray was ruled to not go around by Billy Hayes at first base. The count is 2-2. Page, the redshirt freshman, as the junior Harrison Ray makes up a really, really good infield for Vanderbilt. 2-2 pitch. This one's a line drive towards left field. That's going to get down in front of Christian Bullock, and the speedy Ray is on base to start things here in the top of the fifth. A dangerous guy to have lead off the inning with a single at first base if you're the Wolverines. Vanderbilt almost certainly going to put him in motion at some point. 21 stolen bases this season for Ray, with Ty Duvall, the designated hitter, coming up to the plate. Duvall lined out hard to center field in his first at-bat in the third inning. You figure if you're Vanderbilt, try to get Ray up into scoring position. And maybe get a nice hard hit ball from Duvall. But I think Isaiah Page will not be the one to face Duvall. Eric Bakich is out of the dugout, motions down to the bullpen, and I think we're going to see Ben Kaiser come into the ballgame.
And I feel like this might be a little bit early. I don't know if Michigan can really go for another 5 full innings with the rest of their bullpen. We'll have to see. Ben Kaiser comes out. It might be the case that we see Criswell if Michigan has a lead late in this one or if things are still tied. Bakich might be thinking he doesn't want to waste one of his 2 aces in the game where Kumar Rocker is in his stride. Michigan, though, did succeed in the past 2 innings to at least drive up that pitch count. Rocker is not going to have a complete game here unless something really bizarre happens. Don't know what Michigan's plan is to get all the way through this game. We'll see how long Kaiser can do. Isaiah Page getting his applause from the crowd headed toward the Michigan fan section, as Michigan certainly has the home field advantage here. They are officially the home team in this one, but they've had the home crowd each of the past 2. Maybe not quite as friendly as it would be at Ray Fisher Stadium, but I've gotten a sense here, you and I both living in Nebraska for the past 2 weeks, the locals maybe not enthusiastic to root for a Big Ten rival, but they want to see it be done. A Big Ten team winning the national championship for the first time in 53 years, maybe. And maybe getting only that 4th ever win versus an SEC team here in the College World Series. Now, to the Big Ten's credit, that matchup just hasn't happened very many times. SEC hasn't beaten the Big Ten a whole lot of times either.
So for Michigan, Isaiah Page, the unexpected redshirt freshman starter, goes 4 innings plus a batter. He is responsible for that runner on first, so his line officially not done for the day, but at most he'll give up 1 run and 4 and change, which is very good for the unexpected start from Isaiah Page. The redshirt sophomore, or freshman rather, will turn it over to the redshirt junior, left-hander Benjamin Kaiser, the 6'3", 215 redshirt junior out of Portage, Michigan, comes into the ball game for what will be his 34th appearance on the air. Did start 1 game as an opener in the midweek series earlier in the year. Kaiser 4-1 with a 4.01 ERA, 2 saves on the season, 42 2/3 inning pitched, 47 strikeouts, 18 walks. Batters hit a measly 196 against the left-hander out of Portage, Michigan.
Yep, the 3rd Portage pitcher we're going to see today in this World Series.
The man out of Portage Northern, same as Tommy Henry. Overlapped for a couple years in there.
Yep, they have the same eligibility as a redshirt junior is Kaiser. A true junior is Henry, who probably won't be using up that last year of his eligibility. So Kaiser graduating a year before Henry from Portage Northern. We'll see if the Portage magic can keep going for the Wolverines. The 3rd Portage pitcher and only the 5th of Wolverine pitcher in the CWS.
First pitch to Duvall is a ground ball up the middle. Jack Bleimer lets it go through his legs into center field. Going around second, going to third is Ray. Costly error there for the Wolverines. There's runners on first and third. Nobody out in the top of the 5th. Vanderbilt almost assuredly going to score the first run of the ball game in this one now.
Yep, that might be the backbreaker, strangely enough, in this game. Michigan just having nothing doing on offense, cannot afford defensive mistakes. They've survived 1 error, a pass ball as well. And Jack Blomgren, eyes just got too big thinking about that double play. Lets the ball go right between his legs, almost Bill Buckner-esque. And that puts the speedy Harrison Ray on to third, none out, and Austin Martin due up to the plate. This one could get ugly, and it'd be a win, I think, for Michigan to get out of this one only down 1-0.
Austin Martin with the runner in scoring position at third just needs a fly ball to give Vanderbilt the 1-0 lead Here in the top of the 5th. Or rather, Julian Infante, not Austin Martin. I stand corrected. Infante squared a bunt and took a pitch that missed low and away. Counts 1-0. Last time we saw Kaiser was in UCLA. Through the last 2 innings of that Super Regional. Got his second save of the season and sent Michigan to the College World Series, looking to keep Vanderbilt off the scoreboard here in the 5th inning of Game 2 of the finals. Looks like with the runner on first. 1-0 pitch. Fastball called strike as Infante pulls back on the bunt attempt. And it's 1-1. Not sure if this is a straight squeeze if Ray's going to try to go. Or if he's just trying to move the runner up into scoring position. Have a couple runners in scoring position for Austin Martin. Ty Duvall not terribly speedy at first. Does not have a stolen base on the season. Tried just one time. And does have the lefty Kaiser on the mound. Signs being flashed in now over at third base for Vanderbilt.
Yep, we'll see what Infante is going to do here now. 1-1 count.
He's not squaring a bunt as the off-speed pitch misses outside. Count is 2-1. Tim Corbin running through his signs again in the third base coach's box after he took off the bunt on 1-1. We'll see if he puts it back on here in 2-1. Or lets Infante get a chance to swing the bat, maybe hit a fly ball deep enough to drive a run home. Kaiser the lefty, Infante the righty. 2-1 pitch. Fastball low and away. Ball 3.
This one's 0-0 for now, but it does feel like Vandy has a big inning ahead of them. Bases loaded for Austin Martin with no out. Is not the situation you want to be sending a pitcher into. We'll see what Ben Kaiser can do here. Get himself out of this jam.
Kaiser got the ground ball he wanted on the very first pitch to Ty Duvall. Now finds himself behind in the count 3-1. The pitch. Swing and a miss on the fastball. It's 3-2.
Yep, Michigan's experienced infielders cannot afford to let down their bullpen here. They need all the help they're going to get against this Vandy lineup.
And Kaiser on 3-2 or on 2-strike counts likes to work that fastball, run it inside to a right-handed hitter. We'll see if he tries to do that against the powerful Infante. Kaiser comes set. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with the fastball on the outside part of the plate this time. Kaiser gets a huge strikeout. There's one out in the top of the 5th.
And a 1,000-mile journey begins with one step. Kaiser might have had that double play ball that would have really helped him out. Instead, Blomgren lets it go through his legs and really puts his pitcher in a jam. Gets Infante swinging and missing. And his reward, none other than Austin Martin. Still a not 0-0 ball game. We'll see how much longer Ben Kaiser can keep that true.
And looking at the replay, Kaiser put that one right down the middle. Infante just swung right over the top of it. Big strikeout there. Perhaps caught a break, did Kaiser. And yes, now Martin at the plate. Lefty-righty first pitch. Fastball called strike at the knees. 0-1. Martin has struck out and grounded out on the day. Both those coming against the starter, Isaiah Page. His first look at Kaiser today starts with a called strike. Tim Corbin flashing some signs here. Plenty of things you can do on first and third if you're Vanderbilt. Plenty of ways you can play it if you're Michigan. Blake Nelson looks a little confused over at third. We're looking at his middle infield and getting the signs and what they want to do. Should maybe Austin Martin square to bunt?
That's kind of a waste of Austin Martin to square to bunt.
0-1 pitch, swing and a miss at the off speed, moving down out of the zone, and it's 0-2 now.
Even in a 0-0 ball game, if it were the 9th inning, I could see it. But Austin Martin, a 400 hitter who is dipping closer and closer to 300, 399, as Michigan lowers his batting average on the season, though. He is down 0-2, could pump it back up, though, with an RBI here.
Lefty righty, 0-2 pitch. Off-speed pitch misses down and in. It's 1-2. Good tape by Martin. Kaiser was trying to move that ball down in and on him, get a chase from a guy who will almost assuredly be picked in the top 5 or 10 picks of next year's draft, maybe number 1 overall. One of the best players in the SEC and the country. 1-2 pitch to him. It's the chopper towards the left side. Blake Nelson's going to bare hand throw to first in time, but a run scores. It's 1-0 Vanderbilt in the top of the 5th.
And a pretty good result from Ben Kaiser. He probably deserved to get out of this inning with no runs allowed, as Harrison Ray could have been caught up in a double play. Ultimately, though, Michigan has committed their second error, and you just cannot do that when you're the underdog facing Vanderbilt. That cost them against UCLA 5 errors from the 8th inning and onward in that 12-inning game. Similarly, Michigan batting second in this one, as they've already surrendered 2 errors putting all the work on their offense that still has to deal with Kumar Rocker. Fortunately for them, though, probably not for a full 9 innings. 1-0 game, 2 out in the top of the 5th. 1 runner in scoring position. The not-so-speedy Ty Duvall.
But the very dangerous J.J. Bleudet at the plate. He's going to get intentionally walked. Set the force at all the bags around the base paths. Vanderbilt fans not happy with that one, but I think the smart move there by Eric Bakich. Even with the lefty-lefty matchup, you don't want to take any chances with Bleudet. The guy more likely to drive in a run than Ethan Paul, though Ethan Paul no slouch in his own right. Even with his 0 for 2 day to start today, he's .313 batting average, .383 on base percentage for the season. Certainly something to be feared.
Yep, and I think that's the right call there. J.J. Bleudet could have really busted this game open, escaped this with a 1-run game, and Michigan is going to be pretty happy with that, only surrendering 1 through 5 if they can get the out.
First pitch is bobbled by Godano behind the plate, crossed up it looked like. Kaiser threw a fastball, Donovan expecting a breaking ball. It trickles away, and now both runners are in scoring position, so that intentional walk ultimately does not matter.
Yep, and he can't afford to do that after putting another runner on the bases. Michigan just, they've played well enough defensively to keep themselves in this game, even with Kumar Rocker playing the way he has. Just not defensively sound enough. Joe Donovan's second pass ball on the day.
It was ruled the first one was ruled a wild pitch there, okay. Bounced in the dirt. This one officially a passed ball, and now they're going to intentionally walk Ethan Paul as the count was 1-0. Set up the force again. Eric Bakich very, very liberal with these intentional walks to get to the catcher, Philip Clark. Interesting move here from Eric Bakich. There's 2 outs in the inning, so you don't necessarily need to set up a double play ball or anything.
That's a big risk.
It's a big risk putting more runners on base. Albeit for a hitter you're probably not as fearful of. As you go farther down this lineup, the hitters aren't quite as stout as that top of the lineup in Martin and Bleudet, even Paul. But Philip Clark coming into the ballgame, a .300 hitter. He's 1 for 2 today, so his average up a tick to .301. Still gets on base at a .381 clip. And drives in plenty of runs, 68 RBIs, a chance to tack onto that total here. Runners on every base. They're loaded up. 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Vanderbilt leads 1-0. Looking to extend that. Lefty Kaiser to lefty Philip Clark. Kaiser comes set. First pitch. Off-speed bounce in the dirt. Donovan stops it, and it's 1-0.
Yep, that one skipping up into his chest. Hit dirt before the plate even. Down already in this count where walking is completely off the menu. He cannot afford to drive in a completely unforced run here. This run, if Duvall does come home, it still won't count as an earned run against Kaiser.
Kaiser coming set. The 1-0 pitch misses outside, ball 2.
Bases loaded the first time for Vanderbilt all championship series long. Michigan really struggled with the bases loaded in yesterday's game. Ultimately didn't matter as they scored 7 either way.
Clark's 1 for 2, fly out to right field on a single on the day. Looking just to get on base here. He's up in the count 2-0 against Benjamin Kaiser. Lefty-lefty matchup. Redshirt junior to sophomore, fastball called strike. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike.
Kaiser cannot afford to get down 3-1 here. Everything will be in Philip Clark's favor.
Tense situation to be sure. Michigan shifted on the infield. Jack Blomgren just about behind second base. Blake Nelson playing right about the shortstop position. 2-1 pitch. Fastball outside, ball 3.
And now Clark can just afford to not look at the next one or demand that Benjamin Kaiser throw him something delicious.
Kaiser has to come with a strike here. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Doesn't want to walk in the runner on third and make it a 2-0 ball game. Big moment here for the lefty in his first time pitching in the College World Series. The 2-3-1 pitch. It's the ground ball up the middle. Jack Blomgren makes a backhanded stop, throws to first base in time to get Clark over there. So a dangerous situation, tight-roped out of by Benjamin Kaiser, only giving up 1 run. But that 1 run is enough to give Vanderbilt a 1-0 lead here as we're halfway home at TD Ameritrade Park. The score, Vanderbilt 1, Michigan 0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports.
And Ben Kaiser still has not given up a hit. No earned runs against him. Not even walked a guy non-intentionally. No deliberate walks in that inning. He really looked pretty solid. Escapes giving up 1 run only. That one's going to get credited to Isaiah Page, although that also being that run in due to an error. And now the top of the Vandy lineup ends up not doing a whole lot of damage. Vandy might end up really regretting that one. Michigan for sure will, though, because that was a run due to an error. Passed balls as well hurting them.
Michigan sloppy defensively. It's cost them here already. They'll try to respond here with the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the bottom of the 5th inning against Kumar Rocker. Looking to tie this one up or take a lead, as Vanderbilt, like Michigan, likes to do their between innings routines with the guys running out of the dugout into the outfield by the lines. Vanderbilt's got one guy doing a handstand, or rather a headstand, another guy jumping between his outstretched legs. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one before.
And could you run that by me again? Which batters are due up next inning?
It is Donovan, Thomas, and Wogu, 8, 9, and 1. We doubt we see Jordan Wogu. Haven't seen anybody come out of the dugout yet.
But that number 9, the last 2 times Michigan has trailed in the postseason, it was Akeo Thomas who tied things up or gave Michigan the lead in Game 3 of the Los Angeles Super Regional. Akeo Thomas hit that 2-run single that put Michigan up 3-2. And back on Friday against Texas Tech, Akeo Thomas hit another single that tied things up 3-3. Not really in prime RBI situation right now. Batting second in the order, Joe Donovan, who likes to get on base through home runs. So we'll see if Akeo Thomas is presented that opportunity.
First pitch to Joe Donovan leading things off is a ball in the dirt. Counts 1-0 on the Wolverine catcher. Laid down a sacrifice bunt in the 3rd inning that went down the first base line. Great play by the catcher, Philip Clark, to make a barehanded throw on the run to first to get Donovan. And the 1-0 pitch misses low and outside, ball 2. Fastball a little bit wild from Kumar Rocker, and that'll warrant a mound visit from Clark. Haven't seen who's coming out of the dugout yet from Michigan. There's a couple guys with helmets on right near that step. I said before my guess would be it's Dominic Clementi in the DH spot.
I'd like to throw Riley Bertram's name into the mix.
I saw Riley Bertram with a bat. I did not see him with a helmet on. It does look like it's Clementi right there on that second step, probably taking Wogu's spot. This is a line drive from Donovan down the left field line, foul. Counts me 2-1.
A couple feet away from landing fair before hopping across that third base line. That might have really given Austin Martin a test, who has not fielded wonderfully at third base at all in this championship series.
Yeah, these couple games hasn't looked particularly great over there, bobbling a couple balls, not being able to throw off, but is normally a really good fielder. So Donovan's way out in front of a breaking ball here, hits it off the end of the bat and over near the Vanderbilt dugout. The count's 2-2. So after that mound visit on 2-0 by Philip Clark, a couple foul balls, get Rocker right back in it, and a 2-2 pitch, breaking ball, Donovan ahead of it, hits it over near Nick Schnabel, third base coach. That's a foul ball to make it remain at 2-2.
Donovan, yep, staying alive in this one. He's gotten on base through a lot of walks as well here in Omaha.
2-2 pitch, just a little muscler over towards second base. Ray is going to field on the backhand throw in time to first base to get Joe Donovan.
So if Akeo Thomas wants to be Mr. Trailing RBI, the last 2 times he was up to bat with a deficit, he tied things up. That requires or took the lead. That requires a home run right now. Only 2 on the season, as I've said a couple times now. One of those coming in Nebraska. Different ballpark, though, not one that goes 408 feet deep. It does look like Dominic Clementi is the replacement.
First pitch to Akeo Thomas, off speed on the outside part of the plate. 0-1 is the count. Clementi on the on-deck circle, most likely replacing Jordan Wogu, who left the game due to injury after his last at-bat. 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss on the breaking ball. And Thomas is down 0-2. Thomas worked a walk in his first time seeing Rocker on 7 pitches. In danger of going down on just 3 this time. Righty to righty here, freshman to senior, the windup. The 0-2. Breaking ball, checking his swing was Akeo Thomas. Yes, he did, said Billy Hayes, flashing the safe signal down at first base, and the count moves to 1-2.
Huge for Thomas, who has already walked today, to stay in this at-bat. Drive Rockers pitch count up, number 80, throwing number 75 right now.
1-2 pitch, call, strike three with the fastball at the knees. Thomas expecting that breaking ball and frozen on the fastball. That's strikeout number 8 for Rocker on the day. And with 2 outs, nobody on, we'll cycle to the top of the order with the new batter, Dominic Clementi.
And an important note here, I do believe I saw lightning way over in the horizon on the Iowa side of the Missouri River. That's probably 5 or so miles away. But that is something to look out for, as lightning could delay this one for a while. It's been a pretty quick game otherwise, starting at 6:19. Only just over the hour-and-a-half mark are we. In the bottom of the fifth, 1-0 lead for Vanderbilt, none on, 2 out.
First pitch to the left-handed hitting Clementi is a fastball, misses low, ball 1. Clementi on the season was hurt earlier in the year, was a .368 hitter last year, looked to be a prominent part of this Wolverine lineup before going down injured in the early part of the season. Watches a 1-0 pitch miss low. It's 2-0 now. He's batted 85 times as a .200 average, .281 OBP this year. 6 extra base hits on the season. Couple stolen bases in there as well if we're counting all the counting stats. 2-0 pitch to the lefty. Catches the knees with the fastball. It's 2-1.
Yep, Clementi, of course, is part of the reason Michigan is still playing. He ended up beating the throw out to second after review in that Illinois game that kept Michigan's season alive.
2-1 pitch. Hits this one down the left field line. A little looper. That one's going to get foul out of play because it skips off the dirt and into the crowd. So the count's 2-2 on the Wolverines' new DH in this ballgame. And Daniel, to your point about the Lightning here, we were delayed. It was at 6:19 Central Time start time because of a little bit of lightning. About an hour or so before the game, delayed all the pregame warm-ups and festivities, I guess you'd say. We do have some clouds behind us that look like they could cause some trouble, but not where the lightning coming from. 2-2 count here on Clementi, the pitch from Rocker. Call, strike 3 on the breaking ball. Clark knew it the second he caught it, started jogging off the mound, or jogging away from the plate. That's the second looking strikeout in this inning for Rocker. Second looking strikeout of the day. 9 overall through 5 innings of work. We're through 5 innings of play here in Omaha. The score, Vanderbilt 1, Michigan 0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. Game 2 of the College World Series Finals. Michigan leads Vanderbilt 1-0 overall in this best-of-3 series. I'm Austin Falco alongside Daniel Thompson, bringing you the action for yesterday's ball game, today's ball game, and if necessary, tomorrow's ball game as well.
Pitch number 84, Kumar Rocker does get the job done. Number 80 getting through 80, but through 5 whole innings, he's not going to go all the way in this one. They will have to go to the bullpen. And you have to wonder just how long they can drag him out. Clementi didn't look as sure as the catcher Clark on that one, staring back at the ump. Him being a left-handed batter, facing away from us, not sure if he had anything to say after that one, but looked like it could have been potentially high. Taller frame, though, is Clementi.
And Clementi might have guessed that one was outside, never broke back towards the zone, but that's such a hard thing to do. Coming off the bench cold and seeing a pitcher with the stuff that Kumar Rocker has, basically no chance for Dominic Clementi there. No matter how many reps you're going to take in the batting cage, you just can't replicate seeing that fastball-slider combo. Benjamin Kaiser still on the mound for Michigan here after he faced 6 batters last inning. Got a couple ground balls, a couple intentional walks in there, so not really a full 6 batters faced, more like 4 batters faced. A run did come in to score while he was on the mound, albeit that run partly scoring because of an error by Jack Blomgren to let that runner move up into third. Leading off this inning will be Pat DeMarco, the center fielder. He'll be followed up by Steven Scott, left fielder, and the second baseman Harrison Ray, who got things started last inning and scored the only run of the ball game thus far. DeMarco 0 for 2 on the day. Had a couple of strikeouts against Isaiah Page, 1 swing, 1 looking. Lefty to righty, first pitch from Kaiser. This one's drilled towards left field, and getting down in front of Christian Bullock for a leadoff single is that ball. Pat DeMarco's on. Vanderbilt looking to put some pressure on Kaiser and extend their 1-0 lead.
And that's the first batter unintentionally put on by Ben Kaiser. There was the one error that started his day, and then deliberately walking to before ultimately getting out of the jam, only surrendering one run that was not his. We'll see what he can do now, though, with the runner on. The 4th hit of the day for Vanderbilt, only the 5th in this ball game. But Kumar Rocker's day is coming to an end soon. I think. He did go 130 in the Super Regional.
You never know how long he's going to go, especially with the stuff he has. Might as well just ride him. It's his last outing of the season. First pitch to Steven Scott, misses outside on the lefty with the off-speed pitch, and it's 1-0. Scott reached on an error in the second inning after Jimmy Kerr let one tick off the webbing of his glove, and then struck out against Page in the 4th. With the runner on first and a 1-0 lead, the left-handed hitting left fielder awaits the 1-0 pitch. Here it comes. Fastball just misses off the plate away. Couldn't have missed by much. Donovan tried to frame it there, but didn't get the call from David Savage. It's 2-0.
Yep, Kaiser's going to wish he had that one back. I think he has a good argument for that one. Nonetheless, 2-0 count, and he has been in some jams already and done a pretty great job in my mind maneuvering his way out of them.
Ground ball be huge here for the ground ball pitcher Kaiser. 2-0 pitch. Fastball in the same spot as the last pitch, but called a strike this time by David Savage, and it's 2-1.
2-1 count. He's worked his way out of a trickier jam. Bases loaded in that previous inning. 2 outs, got down in a count 3-1, still drew a ground ball.
2-1 pitch, breaking ball misses outside. It's 3-1 now. And that was a fastball. Donovan fielded it a little weird, had to kind of slide off towards his left, keep that one from skipping past him. Kaiser really slinging that ball across home plate, off towards the right-handed batter's box, especially against the lefty hitter in Scott. Trying to stay away from him. See where he goes, 3-1. Foul back behind the plate with the fastball, and it's 3-2. Bounces around out of the club box seats and into the hands of a fan in the last row of the 200 section. So the count is 3-2 now on Steven Scott. We'll see if Vanderbilt wants to get creative here, maybe stay out of the play by sending Pat DeMarco on first base. He is not going. 3-2 pitch, misses inside, ball 4. Kaiser allows the first 2 runners to reach here in the 6th inning. That'll bring up Harrison Ray with a chance to really make this a big inning for Vanderbilt. Looks like warming up down there in the bullpen, Angelo Smith, and that might be a Jeff Criswell. I don't have a good look at it from all the way up here, but that is a big frame, big right-hander.
I'd be surprised if Jack Weisenberger isn't at least considered for this one.
That might be Weisenberger now that you say that. I think that is Weisenberger on second look.
The 20th round pick might get a chance to get his arm involved in this one, as we have 2 on, none out, 1-0 game right now, and a lot of decisions to be made here for head coach Eric Bakich. Made a big one before this one. It's his 420th ball game as the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, so he has experience to say, none the least of it, so we'll see what he can do. Of course, his college baseball coaching career goes way back, started in Clemson as an assistant alongside Tim Corbin, Vandy's head coach, and ultimately followed him to Vanderbilt as an assistant back in 2010. Wasn't there long, though, before taking the Maryland job en route to Ann Arbor just a few years later.
Bakich in his 7th season at the helm for the Wolverines. Pitching coach Chris Fetter, who's now leaving the mound after a brief mound visit, in his 2nd season in that position for Michigan. Joe Donovan jogs off to get one extra word in with Fetter before Fetter makes his way to the dugout. Harrison Ray, the speedy right-handed hitting second baseman, hard to double up to get a ground ball. It'd have to be hit pretty hard, probably directly at a fielder. And not out of the question that Ray tries to lay down a bunt as the corner man for Michigan playing in. Middle infielders playing around double play depth. Lefty to righty here, big spot. Kaiser checks the runner. Blomgren fakes, covering second base. This one's bunted back towards the mound. Kaiser fields, throws to first, where K.O. Thomas is covering. And they get the out on the sacrifice bunt. Ray almost beating that one out. The speed putting pressure on Kaiser and Thomas to make the play. They do, but there's 2 runners in scoring position with just 1 gone in the inning.
Mission accomplished for Vanderbilt. 1 might have been enough to win this game, although Rocker is unlikely to complete it. 2 would really have Michigan feeling themselves in a deep hole. They haven't been down by more than 2 since the regional level. We'll see if Vanderbilt can bust this one open with a hit.
It'll be Ty Duvall. Duvall lined out to center field in the 3rd. He was the first batter Kaiser faced last inning. Hit a ground ball up the middle. It went through Jack Blauman's legs, and he will not see Kaiser for a second time in this ball game as Eric Bakich is making the slow walk out to the mound. We'll see who he opts to go with.
And I'm not sure if I like this. Kaiser's looked really good in my mind. I mean, some intentional walks put him in a jam, a bunt right there. I don't know what more you could really ask for him. He gave up the one hit, did walk the one runner, but his arm is still fresh. Maybe they're thinking of saving him for tomorrow. Not really sure what more you could ask of him as someone shorter than Jeff Criswell is running out right now.
It is Jack Weisenberger jogging out from the bullpen, if my eyes do not deceive me. As mentioned, Weisenberger, the 20th round pick in this year's MLB draft. I believe he went to the Oakland Athletics. Takes the ball from Benjamin Kaiser, who jogs off the mound. Benjamin Kaiser's line not officially done. He's responsible for both runners on base here in the sixth, but goes an inning and a third overall. Can at the most surrender 2 runs, which would be less than ideal for the Wolverines, but you got to figure 1 run in this inning given up would probably be a win if Michigan can get out of it. Jack Weisenberger on the mound, the 6'3", 220 right-hander out of Rockford, Michigan. Junior has appeared so far in 24 ball games this year. 3-1 with a 4.25 ERA, 1 save on the year. 29 2/3 innings pitched, 31 strikeouts, 21 walks though, and batters hit .221 against the hard-throwing righty.
Jack Weisenberger, not the only Michigan Wolverine athlete to share his name. A Michigan fullback in the 40s also sharing the name Jack Weisenberger. So we'll see if he can put his name in the Michigan Athletics history book as well. Already getting drafted, so going to be part of those Pro Blue compilations. Done his part for Michigan already, but we'll see if he can really put his stamp on the program here. I think Michigan is going to go all out with the strategy of reserving both Criswell and Kaufman for tomorrow's game. You got to wonder who will start. I would think Criswell. He's thrown less pitches in his 3 outings than Kaufman has in any of his 2.
And you get a lot of buzz this week for Jimmy Kerr, the 3rd-generation Wolverine. His grandfather and father both playing here in the College World Series. Jack Weisenberger, also a 3rd-generation Wolverine on the baseball team. Grandfather John played baseball here for 4 years, and his father Perk played baseball for a year in Ann Arbor. Weisenberger getting his chance to shine on the biggest stage of them all. Down 1-0 here in the top of the 6th inning to Vanderbilt in Game 2 of the College World Series Finals.
And, I mean, if he could get out of this one with no runs allowed, as it's currently a 1-0 ball game, advantage Vandy, I mean, that would just be a miracle worked by him should he get out of this one. If he puts anyone else on, he's going to have to deal with Austin Martin, barring a double play. So we'll see if he can bring what it takes to get out of this one. Even just giving up 1 would be a fine outing for Weisenberger. But he cannot let this game get out of Michigan's reach.
Given Weisenberger has the propensity to walk guys at times, Eric Bakich not bothering with the intentional walk to set up the force and double play here to Duvall. Trusting Weisenberger to perhaps retire Duvall without needing too much assistance. After Duvall, it should be Infante, barring some sort of double play. Righty to lefty here, infield creeping in as Weisenberger comes set. First pitch, breaking ball in the dirt, stopped by Donovan. It's 1-0.
Not the way to start this one for Weisenberger. Skipping one to catcher Joe Donovan, as right now all 4 Michigan infielders playing at least a half a step ahead of their bags.
Runners on 2nd and 3rd. Vanderbilt trying to break open this 1-0 game. Righty to lefty here. The junior Weisenberger against the junior Duvall. Weisenberger steps off the mound. Getting a little reset with his catcher Donovan. Donovan not even flashing a sign. Weisenberger already knows what they're going to throw. And the 1-0. Fastball called, strike 1 on the outside part of the plate, rather breaking ball, 82 miles an hour. It's 1-1. Weisenberger has a couple ticks up in velocity from the starter Isaiah Page, and even a couple ticks up from Benjamin Kaiser, who was throwing it up around the 90-mile-an-hour mark with his fastball.
a big reason why he was selected in that 20th round of the MLB draft. This very well could be his last appearance for the Maize and Blue.
And infield trying to cut down the second run for Vanderbilt at home if possible. 1-1 pitch. Misses down and in, ball 2. Weisberger tried to locate the fastball there, couldn't quite get it to hang on as it sailed low and glove side for the right-hander.
Could be back-to-back bases loaded for Vanderbilt, unable to score any in the previous inning. Both teams having oathers with the bases loaded.
Weisberger comes set. 2-1 pitch. Fastball just misses low, ball 3, and you hear the simultaneous moans of Michigan fans and clapping from Vanderbilt fans, knowing they could very easily have the bases loaded in just one pitch.
3-1 count when Kaiser got out of the last inning, was able to draw a ground ball. Double play is not in the question here. No force outs anywhere beside first.
Jack Blomgren fakes for a second, covering second base, where Steven Scott is out there. 3-1 pitch to Duvall. Fastball called, strike despite Joe Donovan dropping the ball behind the plate. Duvall was starting to walk down to first, toss his bat towards the dugout, and now has a word with David Savage as he flashes up the fact that it's a 3-2 count. Duvall going to see the 6th pitch of his at-bat after seeing just one in each of his previous 2 and swinging at each.
Already striking out 43 times on the year. It would be huge for Weisenberger if he can draw number 44.
Weisenberger looks in. Comes set. 3-2 pitch. Spikes it in the dirt. It gets past Donovan. Run's going to score. That's ball 4 to Duvall. He can take his base, and he will eventually take his base over there. Runner Scott moves up to third. That ball just spiked way out in front of home plate. No chance for Joe Donovan. A wild pitch brings home run. It's 2-0 Vanderbilt.
Michigan's offense has not given the defense any favors, but despite overall very good defense being played, holding Vanderbilt to 2 through 6 1/3, 5 1/3 rather, the defense has had far too many costly errors. 2 errors officially, a smorgasbord of wild pitches and passed balls. That is not going to get the job done unless your offense has a performance like they did on Monday night. Michigan now probably going to have to play to get out of this one, only down 3, and Rocker can probably go another inning or 2. Really put Michigan in a jam. Jordan Wogu, of course, left the game. Might be time for Michigan to either settle in or get ready to play for Wednesday.
1 out here in the 6th. Vanderbilt now leads 2-0 after scoring a run in each of these last 2 innings. A chance to score more than run this time around. Runners on first and third. Squaring around to bunt is Julian Infante, and taking a first pitch fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Infante squared around a bunt. Michigan charging hard at that third base spot with Blake Nelson. Jimmy Kerr also giving it a look over at first base, looking where Infante put that bunt down at. Scott following Nelson down the line as he charges, trying to get home if he can on a bunt that would not put him in danger of getting thrown out at home. 0-1 pitch, Infante squares again and pulls back on a ball that skips through the legs of Joe Donovan. Not going anywhere are either of the runners. Duvall probably could have gotten to second on that one. He opted not to, and the count's 1-1.
Yep, that might be as good of an opportunity as Duvall will get to try to steal second all year round. Ultimately, that's just not his game, and he does not advance into scoring position.
Michigan's infield playing with the corners in. Middle infield at double play depth. Should Infante pull back and hit a ground ball up the middle, it would get the Wolverines out of the inning. Infante's 1 for 2 today. Single and a strikeout. The single came against Page, strikeout against Kaiser. It's a righty-righty matchup here again, as he did against Page. And the 1-1 offering from Weisenberger. Fastball misses outside, ball 2.
And right now you got to think about the decision to pull Page. He did put the runner on that ultimately scored, and it was an error that went against Kaiser. But right now, Michigan has unraveled a bit defensively. Not all the pitcher's faults, but you have to wonder if they had ridden the hot hand, if they could be in a closer ball game right now.
You also figured maybe you saw Jeff Criswell earlier in this one. Might have gone a little bit differently. Criswell, one of the starters, been electric out of the bullpen in his couple outings in this College World Series. 2-1 pitch here to Infante. Skips past Joe Donovan. Another run comes in to score. It's 3-0 Vanderbilt. Things unraveling here in the sixth for the Wolverines.
Yep, Michigan, I think they've already made that decision at this point. They're not going to turn back from it. Roll with the relievers today. This is the bullpen's day to try to steal one from Vanderbilt. It's going to be all on Criswell and Kaufman tomorrow, as there likely will be a game then, barring a rally from Michigan. Weisenberger can maybe settle in this one now. Only a runner on second. It is a 3-1 count, however. 3-0 ball game, a little bit less pressure at this point, and it's a slower guy at second, too. The Vandy fans, the minority here, but they are making themselves heard. A lot of whistling in this one, too.
3-0 lead for Vanderbilt. Runner on second. Still just one out in the sixth. The 3-1 count on Julian Infante. For the top of the order looming on deck. Weisenberger comes set, checks the runner at second base. The 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. At the fastball, it's 3-2.
Weisenberger dealing with a very long at-bat now. Can still maybe get out of this one. Get Infante out swinging, looking, grounding, flying. However, don't put two on for Austin Martin.
You just need outs at this point if you're Jack Weisenberger, no matter how you get him. He's got a 3-2 pitch here, one out in the sixth to Infante. It's on its way. Misses low and away, ball four with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Weisenberger comes in, goes full count on the first two batters, walks them both, and of course a couple wild pitches. And I don't know how much longer he's got in this game. He is going to be done. Eric Bakich is out of the dugout. He's got a couple arms warming up. One is Angelo Smith. The other might be Blake Beers out there. We'll see who he goes to. He motions with the left hand. It is going to be Angelo Smith coming into the ball game to face the top of this Vanderbilt order. Vanderbilt very well about to break this one wide open.
Yep, this could get ugly here for the Wolverines as Weisenberger records 0 outs. Looks like that is Angelo Smith coming in. We saw him in Omaha, started that Friday night game versus the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Ultimately got the loss, although his infield did not do much to help him.
And Jack Weisenberger just coming off cold, hadn't pitched in a long while, didn't seem to quite have the control today. Missed a couple times close in a couple of those at-bats, but ultimately didn't get the calls, walked a couple batters. There's a couple runners on. As Austin Martin will face Angelo Smith, also getting his first action of this College World Series. Smith just stands at 5'9", 160, the left-hander out of Thornton, Illinois. Sophomore has pitched in 22 ball games this year, started 4 of them. He's 1-0 with a 4.50 ERA. In an even 30 innings pitched, he struck out 36, walked 20, and batters hit 271 against the diminutive left-hander. And when it comes to Angelo Smith, like many of the arms out of the Michigan bullpen, if he's on, his stuff looks really good, virtually unhittable. If he's off, though, we could see a repeat performance of what we just saw from Jack Weisenberger.
Interestingly, still no Willie Weiss. Was on the Big Ten all-freshman team, but ultimately unraveled a bit in the postseason. Walked in the go-ahead run for Illinois before Jordan Mogu saved the day.
And actually, that might be Weiss in the bullpen right now warming up.
Yep, as we've said a couple times now, pretty hard to tell. We're almost 400 feet away in straight line distance. That looks like Beers to me, but I can't really say with any sort of confidence.
As it stands to be Angelo Smith on the mound, trying to keep it a 3-0 lead for Vanderbilt. After going scoreless through 4 innings for both teams, Vanderbilt tacked on a run last inning. That run coming out into score on an Austin Martin RBI ground out. Here in the sixth, we've seen runs scored on wild pitches, 2 of them to make it a 3-0 lead. There's still just 1 out in the sixth. Michigan using their 3rd pitcher of this inning. The left-hander Angelo Smith going to face the right-hander Austin Martin before 3 left-handers come up to the plate.
And Michigan has not lost here at TD Ameritrade Park since Angelo Smith's last outing. way back on May 26th. Would have been Saturday, 25th, 2 days after the walk-off win versus Illinois. So we'll see what Angelo Smith can do. Wasn't sure if he was going to get his name called in Omaha, but...
And really that outing by Angelo Smith in that Nebraska game might have been his best of the season, if not one of his best of the season. Went 4 innings, really only got into trouble because of defensive issues behind him. And gave up a couple runs in that ball game. Notably, Blake Nelson had a rough game in that second game against Nebraska here exactly 1 month ago. Angelo Smith's first pitch to Austin Martin's a fastball on the outside part of the plate, strike 1. Martin 0 for 3, strikeout and 2 groundouts, but as I said, has the RBI that scored the first run for Vanderbilt in this ball game. Gave him a 1-0 lead at the time, now trying to extend a 3-0 lead. Trying to pounce on the sophomore. Sophomore to sophomore, 0-1 pitch, misses down and in, it's 1-1. Fastball, breaking ball to start here from Angelo Smith. Has a very wide stance before coming set. Has the ball in his glove as he dangles that left arm off to his side, looking for the sign, and comes set, hunched over with the glove right around at his shoulders. 1-1 pitch is an off-speed one that bounces in the dirt, and it's 2-1. Over at
Smith last outing, he started one of those extra innings against UCLA before getting the bases loaded with none out, and ultimately was bailed out by Isaiah Page. We'll see if it'll be a better outing for him, down 2-1 in this count.
The 2-1 pitch is fouled back behind the plate, and now it's 2-2 on Angelo Smith.
And what a situation to walk into. 2 runners on, and Austin Martin, the first batter you have to face. Of course, the leadoff hitter, usually the first batter for most pitchers, but not a great situation for a reliever as the whole crowd now reacts to another bolt of lightning. This one a bit closer than the one I spotted earlier.
Yeah, that one a very bright lightning strike off in the outfield. Apparently not close enough to set off any alarms or anything, so we're still going to play on.
Yep, I think that one was still in Iowa.
Smith comes set, 2-2 pitch to Martin. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strikeout there for Angelo Smith on the off-speed pitch. Moving down, Martin swung right over the top of it, and there's 2 outs in the 6th.
And what a way to introduce yourself for Angelo Smith, striking out the Austin Martin. Looks a lot better recording his first out since way back here in Omaha, I do believe, the last time he pitched and recorded an out.
It was exactly 1 month ago today.
Yeah.
It was those doubleheader against Nebraska. Michigan's been on the road for a long while. J.J. Blade, the big lefty, now gets a shot. Very dangerous hitter, takes the first pitch off speed away. 1-0 is the count. Blade, a fly out to center field, line out to left center field, and an intentional walk on the day.
Blongren creeping in on second, trying to keep Duvall honest. I don't think that's going to be a hefty task. He does not like to take extra bases.
Definitely wants to get a good enough lead to score on a base hit, though. 1-0 pitch, misses outside there with the fastball. It's 2-0.
And Auburn might get another set of loaded bases here. Already up in the count is Blade. This is a very difficult situation for a reliever to come into. The heart of the Vandy lineup. Strike one out, and you just have another one coming. It's a many-headed monster.
Smith glaring in for the sign from his fellow sophomore, Joe Donovan. 3 infielders on the right side of second base against the power-hitting J.J. Blade. 2-0 pitch, swing and foul off. Just getting a piece of that one was Blade, who was looking to go yard there. Looked like he had a fastball from Smith. Turned out it was a changeup, and he was way out in front. So he barely got a piece, and it was 2-1.
Yep, still 3-0 in this one. 2 on, 2 out. We'll see if Angelo Smith can end this inning right here, one that has already been deathly costly for the Wolverines, giving up 2 already, down 3-0 as it is.
Smith checks the runner on second, throws a breaking ball to Blade. Blade checks his swing, though.
And I'm a little bit taken back by that call there. I really thought he went, but looks like the third baseman and home ump agree. That's going to be a ball for Blade, 3-1 count.
Scott Klein at third, putting his hands out in the safe signal to indicate that was ball 3. Blade did not go around with his swing. And now he's in a great hitter's count, 3-1 here with a couple runners on. Blade went deep in yesterday's ball game against the left-hander Tommy Henry. Got a left-hander here, Angelo Smith. 3-1 pitch. Fastball called, strike 2. Smith able to get a big strike 2 there in a hitter's count. Staying away from Blade's power. Now the runners will be on the move here, 3-2, 2 outs.
Yep, impressive, well-placed pitch there, painting the corner, and getting the call is Angelo Smith. Full count, here we go. Vandy with the chance to blow this one open. Angelo Smith with a chance to keep Michigan in striking distance.
Smith checks the runner. 3-2 pitch. Swung and fouled back behind the plate, out of play. We'll do it again on 3-2 after the runners retreat back to their bags. Should Blade keep this inning alive, Ethan Paul looms on deck.
And with the way Michigan has burned through relievers here in this inning, I mean, you have to think Smith did go pretty deep into the Nebraska game. He could end this one. Still has 3 2/3 to get through if he is to end it. Likely we're going to see something of Blake Beers or Willie Weiss, though, before this one is over.
Walker Cleveland also warming up in the Michigan bullpen. But Smith looking to get out of it here. Another 3-2 pitch to Blade. Swinging and a miss, strike 3. Big breaking ball strikeout there. Blade runs down to first, but Donovan caught it before it hit the ground. So Angelo Smith comes in, strikes out 2, and gets out of the inning. But Vanderbilt scores 2 on 2 wild pitches, uncorked in that inning by Jack Weisenberger. They lead Michigan by a score of 3-0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. Austin Falco alongside Daniel Thompson bringing you the action all tournament long, all week long. And for the first time in a long while, Kumar Rocker is going to jog out to the mound.
Yeah, I can't really remember what happened last inning for the Michigan Wolverines on offense. That was so long ago.
It was a very short one. It was ground out, strikeout looking against the bottom of the Michigan order and the new leadoff hitter, Dominic Clementi. It'll be hitters 2, 3, and 4 for Michigan in this 6th inning. A good chance to try to get something started if Michigan's going to try to work their way back into this ballgame. Franklin, Brewer, Kerr all going to get a shot against Rocker. Their third looks at Rocker on the day. The bad news, though, those 3 hitters, 0 for 6 against Rocker, 4 strikeouts.
And I do see some lightning again over on the Iowa side of the Missouri. The Lightning does seem to kind of be staying put. Cloud's not moving quickly here at all. And that might keep this game going. It's been moving along really quickly here beside those last 2 Vanderbilt offensive trips. That last one especially taking a while. 3-0 game still.
Yeah, each of the last 2 times Vanderbilt has batted, in each of the 5th and 6th, 7 runners sent to the plate. Between those 14 guys, 3 of them have scored. So if you look at it that way, Michigan has done a nice job of getting around some trouble. Could be a lot worse, as yesterday's ballgame could have been a lot worse in favor of Michigan. They won yesterday 7-4, but stranded, if I'm not mistaken, 12 runners on base. Did not hit very well with runners in scoring position in that ballgame. Could have been a blowout, really, in Game 1. As it stands, was a reasonably close one. As today's is still a close one, just a 3-run ball game here. Vanderbilt leads Michigan. Michigan looking to get any sort of offense against Kumar Rocker. They have 1 hit, had 4 base runners all day. A hit, a couple walks, and a reach on an error.
Here we go, Jesse Franklin. Homer to right field in the 2nd pitch of that Florida State game.
Facing a big shift here from Vanderbilt. 3 infielders on the right side of second base. Both the shortstop Paul and second baseman Ray in the grass. The third baseman Martin, though, not playing too far off his normal third base spot. Franklin takes a first pitch breaking ball down low. It's 1-0.
Yep, Jimmy Kerr put on a clinic on how to keep the switch honest back in the Texas Tech game. So I think Vanderbilt responding to that and doing their homework, learning to keep the third baseman at least close to that third base line.
Winding up now and corking a 1-0 pitches Rocker. It's a fastball, called strike 1. Rocker losing a little bit of zip on that fastball. The number on the radar gun here slowly trickling down. He was hitting 95 on this radar gun in the first inning. Now hitting about 88 with that last one. 1-1 pitch. It's a hard ground ball towards the right side. Ray lets it hit him in the chest. He eats it up, throws to first. Not in time. Jesse Franklin lunges at the last second and gets to the first base bag in time to beat out the throw from Ray. Leadoff runner on in the bottom of the 6th.
And at this point in the game, I would not be surprised if we see a challenge, and we do.
I think that was initiated by the first base umpire out there,
Yep.
Billy Hayes. Not even a challenge from Vanderbilt necessary. Wants to make sure he got this call right.
It was very bang-bang, and these are hard to overturn. Very hard to say when the ball is truly in the glove, when that foot truly is there, and I think he's safe.
That one, the first look we got looked pretty clear. The ball didn't appear to be inside of the glove of Julian Infante. Probably going to go down as an error. It's not on the scoreboard yet. It is ruled an error officially should this one stand. We believe it to stand, although yesterday a very close call at first we thought might get overturned out. Ended up standing as it was Jordan Brewer beating out a close play.
And I'm not sure if that one could
And
be...
it was ruled safe.
Pretty quick review, so that was pretty conclusive. Was just about to say that if he had been ruled out at first, I'm not sure if that evidence is good enough to overturn it, but ultimately that one is going to stand, maybe even be confirmed. That was a very quick trip, and now both teams have 2 errors. However, Vanderbilt, no wild pitches, no passed balls, and that has really helped keep them in this game.
There's a reason Vanderbilt is winning this ball game, and it's the fact they just played cleaner baseball despite the couple of errors. Jordan Brewer up now, trailing 3-0 with the runner on first in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch to the Big Ten player. There's a breaking ball, bounces in the dirt. Nice stop back there by Clark behind the plate, but it's 1-0 on Brewer.
And now they've done the switch the other way for Jordan Brewer, so there's about a 100-foot gap between Ray and Infante in that infield. So if Brewer can go opposite field, he certainly will get himself on base.
The count is 1-0 on Jordan Brewer. Big moment here for the Wolverines to try to get back into this ball game. Jesse Franklin not going on the pitch. Jordan Brewer hits it off the end of the bat towards left field. Will it drop in front of the left fielder? It will. Scott can't get there, and Michigan's got a couple runners on to lead off the 6th. The Michigan fans finally something to cheer about after a long stretch of not really having much.
Tying run up to the plate, and guess who it is? Well, you really don't need to guess if you've been following the team. The guy's been batting fourth for a while. Jimmy Kerr, home run hitter from last night. It's, I believe, another bolt of lightning strikes in the distance. Not something that we're too concerned about right now, though.
I just think to monitor just in case. We do have some clouds behind us. We're keeping an eye on it. It would certainly throw a wrench in this ball game. Kumar Rocker faces Jimmy Kerr for the 3rd time. He struck out Kerr twice in this ball game. 2 runners on. Kerr in a big spot for the Wolverines, probably the MVP of this College World Series thus far. Rocker to Kerr, first pitch fastball foul right back behind the screen and out of play.
And should he homer or do something to put a Michigan run on the board and they win it tonight, I think that would lock up most outstanding player of the tournament for him. No Wolverine has ever won it before. Does not always go to the player on the winning team.
Kerr yesterday just 1 for 5 with 2 strikeouts, but had the big 2-run homer to put it out of reach for the Wolverines. Couple runners on here, trailing by 3. 0-1 pitch, foul back behind the screen again on the fastball, and it's 0-2 on him.
That number 1-5 being doubly significant for him. 15 as in 15th home run, but also 15 as 1-5 for him yesterday. 0-2 count, though, is what he swung on to really blow that game open with a 2-run homer.
Righty to lefty here. Probably going to see that breaking ball of Rocker, but he's kept Michigan off balance all day, hence the 9 strikeouts. The freshman to the senior. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3 at a fastball. Rocker pumps his fist. Strikes out Kerr for the 3rd time in 3 trips to the plate. And now there's 1 out in this 6th inning.
Big opportunity for Michigan here. Runner in scoring position with none out, now 1 out. 3-0 game still. Runners at first and second, and both pretty speedy guys. Looks like a mound meeting is due here. Maybe not. Clark retreats back, just getting a little bit closer, making himself heard a bit more clearly as Rocker approached him, taking a few steps toward home plate, getting off that mound and now climbing back up.
Philip Clark's going to step out from behind the plate, give his infield signs in case Michigan tries to put any sort of bunt on here. I don't expect it. Christian Bullock on deck. Strikeout and a walk on the day. Nelson at the plate right now. Strikeout and reached on an error thus far in this one.
It is going to be up to Nelson, I do believe, to try to bring in some runs for Michigan. Not a home run hitter, but could certainly do the damage and bring home 2, especially with Brewer's speed.
Middle infield pinching up the middle, and time call at the plate as Rocker was about to start his warm-up. We've seen Michigan victim of that plenty of times in this College World Series. For the first time, I think, in this College World Series, it's Michigan calling time at the last second, throwing the pitcher on the mound off.
Yep, these umpires have generally been very lenient toward the batters.
Rocker, another freshman versus senior matchup, Rocker versus Nelson. First pitch fastball hit in the air down the left field line, hooking near that left field line, and it is caught by the left fielder, Scott. Neither runner will tag, and there's 2 outs in the inning.
Franklin definitely threatened to, maybe not wholeheartedly, was maybe just going to try to force the issue, force Vanderbilt to make a mistake. They play it very well, though, as Paul makes the cutoff about 10 feet in front of third base. There was no chance of Franklin making it safe there, so Vanderbilt doing an excellent job stranding the 2 Michigan runners on. Michigan just 2 hits, have also put 2 on through errors. They're going to need a spark from a guy who's not been hitting the ball well to get things going. Did have that double yesterday, though.
Christian Bullock 0 for 1 on the day, strikeout and a walk. Up here, Vanderbilt leading 3-0, 2 runners on, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Rocker checks the runner on second. First pitch, fastball misses outside, ball 1.
Bullock striking out and then walking in the 2nd and 4th innings, so kind of polar opposites for him. We'll see if he can get the bases loaded maybe for Jack Blomgren.
Blomgren, one of only 2 Wolverine hitters to put the ball in play his first 2 times against Kumar Rocker. Would certainly like to see him with a chance to put a ball in play and get something going here, extend the inning a little bit. 1-0 pitch to Christian Bullock, call, strike with the fastball. It's 1-1.
And with Bullock's speed, if you can get him on, Blomgren could feasibly drive in 3 with a single. We mentioned it in his last at-bat. He is a singles hitter, only 12 extra base hits on the year.
Infield playing back. Wouldn't be a bad idea to have Christian Bullock bunt his way on potentially here. 1-1 pitch. This breaking ball bounces in the dirt. Nice stop by Clark. Keeps both runners where they're at. And it's 2-1 now.
Yep, Clark has definitely helped out Rocker a few times in this game, getting low, preventing the pass ball. These are 2 speedy guys, and I think they are desperate to advance right now. Would also help set up that potential Bullock bunt. Still 1 strike on in his count right now. I would think that'd be a pretty good call for Michigan to go to the bunt here.
Given Bullock struggles, yeah, if you can just get one down and beat it out, it would be huge. 2-1 pitch. Hits a line drive in towards right field, down the line. Will it stay fair? It will stay fair, and J.J. Blade is going to get there to make the grab.
Not a bad showing from Bullock, though, giving a chance. Ultimately, that one's just a bit too softly hit, a line drive out to Blade. Almost found the corner, though, if he had a bit more power in it. It's going to be Blomgren leading up in Michigan. Squanders another opportunity. They've had about 3 innings now, getting runners in scoring positions either with 2 out or even just none out. Jesse Franklin advancing to second. Could not get anything going versus Rocker, and they badly need to get him out of this game if they are going to catch up.
Kumar Rocker, as you said, puts 2 runners on, but then gets 3 straight outs and sends Michigan scoreless again here for the 6th straight time. We'll head to the 7th inning. Vanderbilt leads Michigan 3-0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. We're here in Game 2 of the College World Series Finals, the best of 3 College World Series Finals. Michigan took the first game yesterday, 7-3. Vanderbilt looking to extend it to a Game 3 tomorrow. They're up 3-0 here in firm control. And you said you want Kumar Rocker out of the game, Daniel, but honestly, these Vanderbilt Commodores have plenty of arms in the bullpen. They had a couple arms warming up last inning. We'll see if Tim Corbin decides to go to him in the bottom half. But right now it's Angelo Smith still on the mound for Michigan. Lefty came in, struck out the 2 most feared batters in the Vanderbilt lineup, Austin Martin and J.J. Blade. He'll get the 3, 4, and 5 hitters here in the 7th. Ethan Paul, Philip Clark, Pat DeMarco.
In the end, I don't care how many pitches Rocker has thrown. I think Michigan just needs to see someone else. The way he's been throwing the ball today, Michigan just needs to get rid of him and maybe try to get a run against someone else. They had a lot of success against Vanderbilt's bullpen yesterday, but right now Michigan, I think a lot of the fans and even players maybe have their eyes set on tomorrow. Criswell and Kaufman should both be ready to go.
Yeah, you figure tomorrow, at this pace, based on how Eric Bakich has used his bullpen, it is Jeff Criswell and Kyle Kaufman for tomorrow's game. Coffin most likely the starter. Criswell coming in for relief, but could switch it up. Ethan Paul leads things off against the left-hander Angelo Smith. Takes a first pitch strike. It's 0-1. Paul on the day has been on base once with an intentional walk, but before that had a strikeout and a ground out. Both those first two at-bats coming against the starter Isaiah Page, which is now 3 Michigan pitchers ago. Tries to lay down a slap bunt there and bunts right through it. It's 0-2 on him.
Angelo Smith retiring 2 with the strikeouts. I mean, those two would be Austin Martin and J.J. Bleday. Not really a more impressive combo to strike out back-to-back.
Even Paul looking like a softball player. They're kind of running out of the box, trying to slap it to the left side, just like a traditional slap hitter in softball. But now he's down the count 0-2, faces an off-speed pitch that he fouls over the screen and bounces up into the Michigan box. It remains 0-2.
And another one for that same group of fans as he hands it to one of Desmond Howard's kids. Looks like that young man's dad came away with one in the first inning, so now he spreads the wealth to one of Howard's 2 kids.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt. Donovan scoops it and throws over to first to retire Ethan Paul. 3rd strikeout in as many batters for Angelo Smith. He looks really sharp today. And now he'll face another left-hander, Philip Clark.
Yeah, 3 for 3 for Smith, and Michigan has to be wondering if they had brought him in for Page instead, where might they be? But as you mentioned, when it's on, it is on for Smith, and when it's not, it is off. His one other performance in the postseason was the opposite of this. 3 batters faced, 3 batters on. Isaiah Page gets him out of the jam, bases loaded, none out. Right now, though, 3 consecutive batters he's gotten out swinging, the top 3 of this Vanderbilt lineup.
First pitch here to Philip Clark. Misses for ball 1. Clark on the day 1 for 3. Fly out, single, ground out in order. The second pitch of the at-bat also misses, but not by much. Maybe a bit low outside. The count is 2-0. Thinking about swinging in there was Clark, but he ultimately did not pull the trigger. Now he's ahead 2-0 as the catcher. Smith peers in for the sign. Gets it from Donovan, winds up, 2-0 pitch. Foul back behind the screen, out of play into the second deck. And the count moves to 2-1.
And Smith got down 2-0 versus J.J. Bleday in the last inning before ending it with a strikeout. So he's no stranger to this situation, can maybe get out of here as he is facing his second future major leaguer in 5 batters faced. No, 4.
Off-speed pitch called, strike 2.
And just like that, he is back ahead in this count.
2-2 the count on Philip Clark. Angelo Smith has come in, struck out 2 batters last inning, struck out 1 so far this inning. On the verge of 1 here, perhaps 2-2 pitch. This one's hit high and deep towards left field, or towards right field on the run, and gone into the bullpen. That one got out in a hurry. Jordan Brewer was giving chase right by the wall, but it ultimately cleared the wall, and Philip Clark has given Vanderbilt a 4-0 lead with a solo shot in the 7th.
And that's baseball. Angelo Smith on top of the world there, retiring the first 3 of the Vandy lineup. And then lets Clark get a piece of that one into his team's dugout. Gives a souvenir for his teammates warming up right now. Their job just got easier, though. Obviously, there's not much of a point in preserving Rocker's arm, so if you think he's still your best option, I think Vandy will keep him out there. Right now, though, Michigan has to get back on offense. They've conceded a run in 3 consecutive innings. 1, 2, and 5 and 6, and 1 so far in the 7th.
Pat DeMarco, the catcher, rather the center fielder, now up. Takes the first pitch, strike at the knees. 0-1. You hear the Vanderbilt fans making some noise here. Their team up by 4 runs as Michigan was in the later stages of yesterday's game. Winding up is Smith. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses inside, 1-1. DeMarco, the right-handed hitting center fielder, struck out twice against Isaiah Page, but singled and came around to score against Benjamin Kaiser last inning in the 6th. The solo shot gives Vanderbilt a 4-0 lead with 1 out here in the 7th. An off-speed pitch from Smith bounces in the dirt low and in. The count is 2-1.
Smith being a bit more timely with his low pitches in the fastball, whatever you want to call that. Weisenberger threw 2 into the dirt that went wild, ultimately bringing in a run each time. None on there for Angelo Smith, but just because he gave up a home run on the last bat.
2-1 pitch just misses off the plate away. It's now 3-1. After DeMarco, Steven Scott on deck. He also came around to score in his last time at the plate last inning. Winding up is Smith. 3-1 pitch. Ground ball past Smith on the mound. Akeo Thomas fields behind the second base bag. Throws to Jimmy Kerr for out number 2. 2 gone here in the top of the 7th. Vanderbilt with a 4-0 lead. They'll send Steven Scott to the plate.
And Michigan is going to have to deal with the top part of that Vanderbilt lineup in all likelihood another time. Austin Martin and J.J. Leday will get another chance. So they got to stop the bleeding where it is right now, 4-0.
Angelo Smith winds up. This was hit high and deep towards left center field by Steven Scott. Going back near the track, near the wall, off the wall. Jesse Franklin fields, throws back in towards the infield, but that's going to be a 2-out double for Steven Scott. And Vanderbilt's offense is alive here in Game 2.
And that one was placed perfectly between the 2 outfielders right there. Both pretty quick guys, Jesse Franklin and Christian Bullock. Looks like Franklin misjudged it a little bit, cutting inside first when he should have been headed backward. Ultimately, I don't think he would have gotten there either way. That ball right between the 2 batters, nearly hitting the 375 sign on the wall. Puts the runner in scoring position with 2 out.
2 outs, runner on second with a 4-0 lead. Harrison Ray is going to step up to the plate for the 4th time in this ball game. Ground out, single, sacrifice bunt in his first 3 times. Also came around to score a run after singling lead off the 5th. Eric Bakich making his way out to the mound. That might be the end of the day for Angelo Smith now. He's emptying his bullpen. Is Eric Bakich.
And Kaiser didn't get too many pitches in. I think he would be available should it come to him. But I think Eric Bakich has put all of his chips in for Game 3, going to ride Criswell and Kaufman the distance.
That's an odd strategy by Eric Bakich. I'll say as much there. He, all tournament long, has talked about winning the game in front of you. Never really planned for the next game and seems to be doing so here from the get-go. An odd strategy, a risky strategy to not put away a really good team when you may have had the chance in this Game 2. Nonetheless, that's what the strategy is for Eric Bakich. Angelo Smith's day will be done. He makes the call to the pen. And Willie Weiss, as you said, the all-Big Ten freshman All-American on Perfect Game and College Baseball Newsletter, will come into the game.
Willie Weiss had great stuff all regular season, did not look good in his Big Ten tournament appearances or in Corvallis. Didn't get to play in Los Angeles or yet in Omaha. We'll see what he can do here and keep Michigan in this game before maybe Rocker retires.
Willie Weiss, go ahead.
I can't quite see the back. No, it's turning it toward me. I'm going to bet that the back of his hat is pulled up like he usually likes to wear it. Interesting style, but hey, when you're an athlete, you got to get your vintage styles going. That can pay dividends down the road for you, at least get you more recognition. The Big Ten freshman at least has 2 more years in Ann Arbor and already has his trademark hat style.
So Willie Weiss, the freshman, 6'3", 205 on the mound, right-hander out of Portland, Oregon. Has appeared so far in 26 games this season, leads the Wolverines easily with 9 saves. He's 2-2 with a 3.08 ERA. In 38 innings pitched, he has electric stuff, struck out 50. Problem is, he's also walked 32 batters in those 38 innings.
Yeah,
he's also allowed a batting average of 185 against. Also seems good, except for the fact he's given up 9 extra base hits, including 5 home runs, which is good for 4th out of the team, most out of the bullpen.
Yep, when you are 4th in home runs, you better hope you're not a starter. Typically, the weekend starters are the ones who have all those volume numbers against them. Willie Weiss, though, is going to try to do his Kumar Rocker impersonation. He has a nasty breaking ball when it is on. The big difference between the 2 freshmen, though, is that Kumar's is basically always on. 19 walks on the whole season for the weekend starter in Rocker. He just simply does not give out any freebies. Meanwhile, Willie Weiss can be as dangerous to hit as Rocker. But when it's not on, it is off. 100%. It's a light switch, really. Not really any in between.
It's a lot of the guys on the Michigan bullpen. Either they're on and seemingly unhittable, or they're really off and walking guys. We'll see what Willie Weiss we get today. Harrison Ray is his first batter with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Vanderbilt's really got to run this inning to stretch their lead to 4-0. First pitch from Weiss is a fastball, or rather a breaking ball, misses down low. It's 1-0. Weiss has electric stuff at times, hence the high strikeout numbers. But again, hard to control at times because of the walking. We can keep hammering home this point, but that's really the story of Willie Weiss's season, is that dichotomy of whether or not he can locate on a given day. Second pitch to Ray is a fastball, blew it right by him, strike 1.
Yep, that was a sighting of good Willie Weiss. I feel like there could be some Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde nickname for him sometime in the future, if we can work that out over the offseason.
We'll work on that as Willie Weiss will get really his first year in the program to work on probably cleaning up that control a little bit.
I got that backward, didn't I? It's Mr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde. I'm talking myself out of this.
1-1 pitch, breaking ball called, strike 2.
Just
Ray frozen there after you saw the fastball.
Just got to let that one go. I think I got the point across. Not going to second-guess myself again.
You just got to roll with it. If you're wrong, you just sound like you're right.
Yep. Take it till you make it sometimes.
Exactly.
Got to frame my quotes maybe, like a catcher frames the pitches.
If it's close enough, you get the call. Willie Weiss looking to get a call perhaps here on 1-2. The pitch. Breaking ball pops straight up near the left side. Blake Nelson going off near the stands. He's going to run out of room, though, as it gets about 10 to 15 rows up into the grandstands. And the count will remain 1-2 on Ray.
Yep, that one was so high you wonder if maybe the grandstands weren't there. Nelson could have gotten under it. Ultimately, though, he's not going to charge through 12 rows of fans to get to that one. That'll slow you down, I think.
Why not? If Jeter can dive into the stands, you can climb on fans' heads, right? Something like that.
I mean, I think the fan. If he got to the ball, I don't think the fans would mind too much. Now, if he dropped it, I think they'd be pretty disappointed. Oh, you know, I spilled my food for that.
I mean, either way, it doesn't count. It's out of play. But hey, it would have been fun to watch.
Yeah.
Willie Weiss ready for another 1-2 pitch to Harrison Ray. Checks the runner on second. Here it comes. High and in fastball. It's 2-2. The radar gun clocking at 91 on that fastball from Weiss. Takes him a few fastballs to really dial it up, but he can hit that mid-90s level. And it has an electric breaking ball. It just drops straight down. Similar to Kumar Rocker, 2-pitch pitcher, fastball, and breaking ball. But he doesn't have the same control of them that Rocker has. Both freshmen on the mound for their teams. 2-2 pitch from Weiss. Hit high in the air towards center field by Ray. Jesse Franklin goes back a little bit, now runs in and catches the ball on a jog in medium depth center field for the third out of the inning. So a couple extra base hits that inning. Vanderbilt takes the 4-0 lead now on a solo home run by Philip Clark. It's 7th inning stretch time here at TD Ameritrade Park. And you're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Vanderbilt leads Michigan 4-0 in Game 2 of this College World Series final.
And Willie Weiss is able to delay the number 20 versus number 20 matchup. That's going to lead off the next inning unless Michigan pulls Willie Weiss between the innings, but I'm not really sure who they'd replace him with. Blake Beer is really the only name coming to mind left. We might get a Joe Pace sighting in Omaha even. At the very least, Eric Bakich is made up for not letting the bullpen play to begin with. I'm not sure if they're enjoying this one as much as the previous ones. Michigan still undefeated in Omaha. If they come back here, the Big Ten is going to actually wind up with more wins than the SEC in Omaha. If Michigan wins tonight, they'll tie. If Michigan wins Game 3 tomorrow night, they'll be tied up at 5 when all things are said and done. Of course, there were 4 times as many SEC teams here, 2 of them going 0-2, Auburn and Arkansas. Mississippi State falling to 1-2, and Vanderbilt delivering 3 of the SEC's 4 wins so far. And of course, if Vanderbilt wins, they will edge out the Big Ten 5-4 in wins.
You are really all aboard that Big Ten versus SEC stuff today.
That's kind of my trope in every sport I cover here for WCBN. BTN might want to throw me a job at some point. I've been their chief apologist online for a while now. I was Mr. 14-team conference pre-selection Sunday for the NCAA basketball tournament. And they did pretty good in the NCAA tournament, too, if I do remember correctly. Sent a team to the Final Four. I think all but one, only Wisconsin lost in the first round of the 7 Big Ten teams to go. So we'll see if the Big Ten already greatly changing their reputation with Michigan's run in the postseason here, but we'll see if they can really stamp their legacy. A team, a state, and a conference all on Michigan's backs here. I think at least 12 of 14 Big Ten fan bases pulling for the Wolverines. You can maybe interpret who those two that might not be on board are.
Their hopes lying on the shoulders of what is the bottom of the Michigan order to lead things off here in the 7th against Kumar Rocker still on the mound. Jack Blomgren's first pitch is a call strike at the knees with the fastball 0-1, and now that fastball dialed back up a couple ticks as Rocker's getting some time to rest between innings now.
Yep, he did not look so great in the 3rd and 4th innings, but 5th inning either, but he's really bounced back with those long Vanderbilt offensive outings.
0-1 pitch, fastball high, it's 1-1. Blomgren on the day singled in the 3rd, grounded out to short in the 4th. In the 4th, he had a couple runners on in scoring position, might have had a shot to give Michigan a lead, but couldn't quite sneak it through the hole. Now it's 1-1 pitch, is another fastball on the inside part of the plate, it's 1-2. Now Blomgren ran the count full when he grounded out in the 4th, so has seen a deeper count against Kumar Rocker today. Has seen that breaking ball a couple times. We'll see on 1-2. Time called. Home plate umpire David Savage, I don't think had given the go-to or given the sign to Kumar Rocker to go and deliver the pitch. Blomgren still had his hand up, was getting back in the box. Now we're ready for a 1-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball that bounces in the dirt. It's 2-2.
And it's going to be pitch number 98 now for Kumar Rocker. He will, unless things go perfectly for him from this point onward, he is going to escape this inning.
Line drive by Jack Blomgren towards left field. That's going to get in for a base hit. 2nd hit of the day for Jack Blomgren. 3rd hit of the day for the Wolverines overall.
And there you have it. He'll be over 100 in all likelihood when this inning is done. Joe Donovan up to the plate now. Hit a home run yesterday, of course. Michigan with the leadoff runner on base again. This is their chance to maybe send Rocker to the dugout, get someone new to try to score off of. But 4 runs is going to be a tall task. They still have 9 outs to play with batting second. We are, in all likelihood, going to see a second consecutive full 9-inning game here in this one. Vanderbilt not unacquainted with bottom of the 9th heroics here in Omaha.
Joe Donovan on the day 0 for 1. Swings and misses at a breaking ball that bounces on the plate. It's 0-1 on him. Sacrifice bunt for Joe Donovan in the 3rd inning. Nice play made by Clark to retire him there. And then a ground out in the 5th. Looking to help Michigan cut into Vanderbilt's 4-0 lead in the bottom of the 7th here. The leadoff runner is on for Michigan as Rocker steps off, and there's a balk. So apparently Rocker did not step off correctly. Jack Blomgren's going to go over to second base on a balk by Kumar Rocker. Michigan has a runner in scoring position with nobody out for the 2nd time in this ballgame. First time coming last inning, although they were unable to score. After the first 2 base runners reached, it was strikeout and a couple flyouts induced by Rocker. But Joe Donovan now a runner in scoring position, 0-1 count on him, a chance to score a run for Michigan today. 0-1 pitch, breaking ball in the dirt. Nice stop by Clark behind the plate. He has been really good blocking that breaking ball of Rocker all day long.
Yep, you know Blomgren is going to be itching to advance to 3rd right now in scoring position. Rocker making his first mistake of the day, really.
1-1 pitch upcoming to Donovan. Rocker takes a breath, looks at Blomgren, and now fires. Fastball bunting Joe Donovan. He bunts it foul. Protection there. That was coming up, almost going to hit Joe Donovan in the head. He just kind of got the bat in the way. I'm sure he wanted to pull back. That one would have been a ball, but didn't want to get hit in the face with a Kumar Rocker fastball. And thus, it's strike 2.
I don't think anyone wants to do that, but the way he stumbled there, a bit being off balance, trying to avoid that ball with the bat any way he could, but also just showing the strength of Kumar Rocker's pitches, shaking him up, number 102 coming. And he might go the distance here, but if Michigan can get a run, I think that will end his day.
There was some Vanderbilt arms warming up in the bullpen. They've since sat down, so either they're warm and ready to go, or this is Kumar Rocker's inning. At least for now. Ready for a 1-2 pitch to Donovan. It's on its way. Fastball, just fouling it off with a little check swing is Donovan. It was coming inside on him, and he gave it not even really a half swing, more like a quarter swing, and got a piece of it. And it remains 1-2.
The Let's Go Blue chants erupting right before that pitch. Silenced the crowd a bit there, did that foul ball, but we'll see if they can get back into this. Remind Michigan that they still have their backs. The fans here, they're waking up again.
Rocker comes set. Checks the runner. Now another 1-2 to Donovan. Breaking ball, Donovan ahead of it, fouls it off to the left side. Little chopper, ball boy, lets it go through his legs. That's an E on the ball boy. The counts remains 1-2. I guess the ball retrievers here don't have gloves, so I'll cut him a little slack. But still, got his hands on it, got to make that play. Joe Donovan's in the box, ready for another 1-2 offering from Rocker. Rocker's ready now as well. Here it comes, breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Finally got Donovan to just foul tip that into the glove of Clark. And Donovan's down on strikes for the first time today. 1 out, runner on second for Akeo Thomas.
Akeo Thomas has been the one to do it, tie things up for Michigan, but that is impossible for now. That might end Rocker's day, though. Head coach Eric Bakich talked about not going for Twitter strings with 2 strikes. Also mentioned there's only 2 counts, 2 strikes and not.
Kumar Rocker's day is done. You hear the crowd for Vanderbilt and even some Michigan fans giving him a hand as he comes off the mound. Impressive outing for Rocker. Impressive freshman season for Kumar Rocker overall. His ERA is going to end at 3.16 if Blomgren does not make his way in from second base. His outing today, 6 1/3, gave up 3 hits, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts for the freshman. We heard the hype coming in, well deserved, and he definitely lived up to it here in the College World Series Finals. Great shot to get a win and give his team a series-tying win as he will exit today's ball game. With a 4-0 lead, Vanderbilt turns to their bullpen for the first time in the ball game today. It'll be the right-handed throwing sophomore, Tyler Brown, stands at 6'4", 233, out of Ashland, Ohio. Brown on the year is the closer for Vanderbilt. He's appeared 30 times, 17 saves. He is 3-1 with a 2.31 ERA. In 46 2/3 innings pitched, struck out a whopping 63, and most impressively walked just 8 batters all season long. Batters hit a measly 198 against the big right-hander, and Tim Corbin probably going to go to him to finish this ball game out.
Yep, right now Vanderbilt looking like they have another strong response after a big loss. The last time they lost the game was that 18-5 loss against Duke. Ultimately came back with 2 big performances from Kumar Rocker, and the whole pitching staff only conceded 2 runs after giving up 18 in the first game, winning 6-0 and 13-2. Then did not lose a game until last night. Michigan, likewise, has not lost a game since the Super Regionals up until this point, but they're down right now. Maybe going to try to repeat the pattern they had against the 1 overall seed UCLA. Win, loss, win was the ticket for them. And Michigan has not faced elimination since then.
Akeo Thomas stepping up to the plate, trying to give Michigan at least 1 run on the scoreboard. They trail 4-0 here in the bottom of the 7th. Righty. First pitch, fastball called, strike 1. Up there, 93 on the gun here, which means probably up near 95-ish, if we're being honest. If you didn't catch it earlier in the ball game or earlier in the week, we do believe this gun here is a couple ticks slow in Omaha, based on what we know of some of the other pitchers. Akeo Thomas been on base with a walk today, also a strikeout. He watches a second pitch, missed low and away, ball 1.
4-0 lead for Tyler Brown to work with here. Off to a 1-1 start, and Dominic Clementi due up next in case you're just joining us. It was Jordan Wogu who exited the game with a leg injury. Still don't know the severity of that one, but he is done for the day.
Was not able to put any weight on his left leg. We'll elaborate on that in a second here. It's a 1-1 pitch to Akeo Thomas is fouled up off to our left and bounces off the press box. The count's going to go to 1-2.
Hit the lower beam right below one of those radio booths. Made a nasty sound.
Could have been us, but we opted to stay here on the roof. We've been here on the roof over by first base for all of Michigan's run thus far. We weren't about to use our announcer's jinx and switch up our mojo. Tyler Brown's ahead in the count here against the K.O. Thomas, trying to work out of a jam. Runner on second, one out. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses low and away, ball 2.
Blomgren taking a big lead off at second. K.O. Thomas is a singles hitter as well. Just 19 extra base hits on the year, almost all of those, 16 of the 19 being doubles.
Not a ton of pop in the bat, but K.O. Thomas can find a gap every once in a while. Tyler Brown, the big left-hander, against the smaller K.O. Thomas. Brown comes set at the belt. Another 1-2 pitch. This one is lined right past Nick Schnabel in the third base coach's box, foul. K.O. Thomas got a good piece of that one, but out in front of it. And the count will remain 2-2 now. Apologies, it was 2-2 with that last pitch.
Yep, not nearly ahead of it. Not nearly timing it up just right, but that did at least flex his muscles there, show the threat to single out to left field.
Vanderbilt is playing him a little bit to pull on the infield. And a 2-2 pitch to him. Breaking ball misses low, ball 3. Good eye there from K.O. Thomas after fouling off a 2-strike pitch. And he's worked it full after falling behind 1-2.
Already has walked once today. Going to try to set up 2 on for the pinch hitter, Dominic Clementi.
Not a pinch hitter anymore. Now he's in the lineup as the DH.
Yep.
I guess technically the first time you could have considered him a pinch hitter.
Yeah, although.
Spinning back towards second, keeping Blomgren close there, was Tyler Brown.
Really coming in for the injured Wogu as a full-on substitution. We're hoping to get some good news about that injury. Could have been something serious. Hoping for maybe just a pulled quad.
3-2 pitch to Thomas. This is a line drive into left field for a base hit. Blomgren is rounding third. He will be sent. Coming up throwing is Scott. The throw home is not in time. Blomgren scores. Michigan's on the board here in the 7th. It's 4-1 in favor of Vanderbilt.
And there you go. Michigan finally retires Kumar Rocker. That's really the only thing he isn't excellent at. Doesn't always go too deep into these games. Does go about 7 innings per start, and that is what he did. 7 1/3.
6 1/3.
6 1/3. I'm doing that all week long.
All week long you've been off by that 1 inning. But Michigan, as you said, finally got Kumar Rocker out of the game. They get a solid base hit from here from K.O. Thomas. Just the second hit from a guy not named Jack Blomgren. As Blomgren comes around to score. Runner on first, 4-1 ball game now. Michigan showing some life, sending Dominic Clementi to the plate now.
And all 3 RBIs driven in by a Michigan player, 4 really, because one of them was a 2-run RBI, while trailing, have been through a K.O. Thomas.
Dominic Clementi grounds one near the first base side, getting past first base coach Michael Brodar. Counts 0-1.
A lot of people might just remember off the top of their minds, he's been here forever. Sort of feels like he's a 7-year player for these Michigan Wolverines, and he's showing the fearlessness of a 7-year player. Mr. Clutch when it counts.
Yeah, K.O. Thomas, 4th-year senior, started all 4 years. Injuries robbed him of some time, but still contributing here in his final year. Turns it over to the junior Clementi, who swings and misses at a high fastball. Counts 0-2 on him.
I believe it was Blomgren last to tie up a ball game for Michigan while facing a deficit back in the bottom of the 9th of Game 2 versus UCLA, bringing Jimmy Kerr home, who started the action with a double.
You got him on that sacrifice fly. Yeah, the last guy not named K.O. Thomas driving to run while trailing. Dominic Clementi tried to do something here on 0-2. He watches a breaking ball miss low. That was actually the fastball that missed low. It's 1-2.
And of course, Dominic Clementi does not get enough credit for saving Michigan's season. His hustle to second base, originally called out.
First base.
First base it was, correct, on what could have been a double play, tagging 2, starting at second base.
1-2 pitch to him this time. Call, strike 3 at the knees. Clementi goes down on strikes for the second time today, looking, and there's 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Still a runner on first. Michigan scored 1 this inning, and they'll send Jesse Franklin to the plate, trying to extend things a little bit longer.
It's going to need to be a full-on 2-out rally if Michigan wants to inch closer, but they might be able to put themselves in a more favorable situation than Vanderbilt did going into the 9th. They entered the bottom of the 9th trailing 4, only brought in 1.
Crazy things happen here in Omaha later on in ball games. Michigan just trying to stay within striking distance. They're down by 3 now. First pitch, Jesse Franklin swinging and a miss at a breaking ball. And it's 0-1. No doubt Franklin was looking first pitch fastball and looking to put a couple more runs on the board, but didn't get it there.
Yep, Brown is definitely teasing a home run ball for Jesse Franklin. Could make this a one-run ball game with the swing of his bat.
Brown comes set. Now an 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses low, 1-1. That went up to 94 on the gun here. No one in the Vanderbilt bullpen. We believe Tyler Brown's going to get to go as long as he can. Tim Corbin not sparing any expense here. Has to win this ball game or his season's over. So he's going to his closer to try to finish off as much as he possibly can. He's got a 1-1 count on Jesse Franklin. The pitch, high fastball, way outside and high. The count is 2-1.
Yep, Jesse Franklin led the Big Ten in walks. Was unable to do so against Kumar Rocker, who did not extend his season-long walk count much. Came into the day with 19.
Franklin at the plate here with a runner on first, 2 gone. 2-1 count, the pitch. Off speed, misses high and away, ball 3. The tying run is still on deck. Should Franklin be able to reach that tying run coming up to the plate, could be huge, as it is in the form of the Big Ten Player of the Year, Jordan Brewer.
And Tyler Brown now already throwing his 15th pitch, has only retired 1. And that's a big advantage here, at least. Vanderbilt protected their top relievers in yesterday's game. Now Michigan retiring Kumar Rocker, even if it goes to tomorrow, they've at least done some damage to the arms in that Vanderbilt bullpen.
Brown comes set, 3-1 pitch. Misses low, ball 4. Thomas will go to second. The ball got past Clark, but no real threat of Thomas advancing to third. But there's 2 runners on, and now, as you mentioned, the tying run comes to the plate, and it's in the form of Jordan Brewer.
Also worth noting that Rocker does not get the shutout. Blomgren was his hitter and does end the shutout opportunity for him. Mississippi State only scored 3 runs in the game that Rocker started back on Monday.
And they got 1 run off of Rocker in a similar fashion, got it at the very end of his outing, just as Michigan officially gets 1 off of him, even if it wasn't driven in while he was on the mound. Clark went out and talked to his pitcher very briefly. And now Tyler Brown will face Jordan Brewer. The tying run for Michigan in a game that seemed like they were down and out while Rocker was in the game. They finally get him out. They put a couple runners on, scored 1 in the bottom of the 7th. They trail 4-1 with 2 outs. Big moment here for Brewer.
One of only 3.
First pitch. Fastball called, strike 1.
And one of only 3 Wolverines with a hit so far. This could be a great moment for the Big Ten Player of the Year, playing in either his last or second last game for the Wolverines. Oddly enough, he wants to end his career tonight.
1 for 3 on the day is Brewer. Second pitch, the at-bat, fastball inside. He dances out of the way, and it's 1-1.
Yep, nearly hit him right there. Jesse Franklin also took a strike on his first pitch, but ultimately got walked. We'll see if maybe Michigan can get on these bases slowly, as they have been for the past 2 outings.
Brewer, the powerful right-hander against the powerful right-hander Tyler Brown. 1-1 pitch, fastball foul, straight back to the screen. It's 1-2. Brewer has chased the breaking ball down a lot in this College World Series since they made it back to Omaha. He was out earlier in the NCAA tournament in the Corvallis Regional with some turf toe issues. Didn't look good when Michigan was here for the Big Ten tournament a few weeks ago, about a month ago exactly. And now he's in a 1-2 hole here. Couple runners on, Michigan trailing by 3. Could be a huge strikeout, huge out for Tyler Brown. He comes set at the belt. 1-2 pitch to Brewer. Call, strike 3, throws him with the fastball. Brewer walks back to the dugout with his head held down. And getting out of the inning is Tyler Brown, only allowing 1. Michigan had a chance to get more, but they ultimately settled for just the 1 run. They trail 4-1 here, headed to the 8th. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball here on WCBN Sports.
And Michigan has just not been able to capitalize with runners in scoring position. That was true yesterday as well. They just played so well. They scored 7, even without really putting hits together at the best moments. That was a big opportunity to climb back in this one. They're going to have at least 1 multi-run inning to catch up, and they do not have many arms ready to go behind Willie Weiss. It's an uphill battle, but they at least showed signs of life there, ultimately getting one earned run against Rocker, showing even he bleeds too. Willie Weiss warming up for a 20 versus 20 bat matchup.
So we will head to the 8th inning here. 8-9 and 1 due up for Vanderbilt. They'd like to at least get that one run back they gave to Michigan in the bottom half of the 7th. Have as big a lead as possible going into the last couple innings of the ball game. Like we said, crazy things are happening late here at the College World Series. We've seen a couple walk-offs already in this College World Series. Mississippi State walking off Auburn after going down into the 9th inning, trailing 4-1, and promptly giving up a walk-off to Louisville after being ahead a couple runs in the bottom of the 9th.
And talk about unforced mistakes. Auburn just collapsing defensively at the end of that one. Up 4-1, and all 4 runs that scored there unearned as Auburn just fell apart, goes 0-2 and is out of Omaha. Michigan, of course, were in 2 tight ones to start things off, one a bit more comfortably in their 3rd and 4th games. They very easily could have gone home in 2. Instead, they're going to be playing at least 5, probably 6 as things stand here in Omaha.
Will be the freshman Willie Weiss still on the mound, facing the junior Ty Duvall to lead things off. Ready against lefty. First pitch hit in the air down the left field line, foul, out of play. The count is 0-1. Duvall on base a couple times today. Line out, reached on error, and then walked. He's faced 3 different Michigan pitchers, Page, Kaiser, and then Weisenberger. He's the second batter Willie Weiss is facing in this ballgame after Weiss got a fly out to end the 7th. Weiss winds up the 0-1. Swinging and a miss, blew the fastball by him there, and it's 0-2. Weiss working out of the windup now. Works from the third base side of the rubber. He's got a clean inning in front of him. Tends to work better in clean innings. Coming in, being able to wind up and fire away. Came into the inning last time with a runner on second and did just fine, though. Winding up, 0-2 pitch. Hit high in the air towards deep center field. Franklin going back near the track. He's going to stop it from the track, though, and then grab it for out number 1.
Franklin getting a good workout here today. He's had to move around a lot in center field.
Yeah, after yesterday's ball game, very, very few flyouts off the bat of Vanderbilt Harris. I think we counted 1 flyout all day long, not counting pop-outs.
It was a soft contact and strikeout day for Tommy Henry.
Very much the opposite today. Jesse Franklin's ran a few balls down. Just looking here at the stat sheet, I can count 4 immediately popping out at me. The other outfielders doing their part as well. Either way, 1 out here in the 8th inning. First pitch to Julian Infante, swinging and a miss at a breaking ball in the dirt. It's 0-1.
And once again, it's so big to get those first 2 out and not let Austin Martin come up to the plate with a chance to bring any runners home beside himself. And of course, he's already homered twice here in Omaha, but you really want to have 2 out, none on for a guy like him.
Weiss looks in the 0-1. Fastball misses inside, or the breaking ball just didn't break from the inside part of the plate, and it's 1-1.
Willie Weiss yet to record a strikeout here, but Julian Infante, that might be his big weakness. 69 strikeouts on the year.
Including 1 earlier tonight. Infante single strikeout walk in this ball game. The 1-1 pitch to him from Weiss is hit high in the air towards deep right center field. Jordan Brewer and Jesse Franklin going back near the track. It'll be Brewer right up against the wall, making the grab about 3 feet in front of the wall for out number 2.
And he makes it look so easy, just kind of calmly lying back into that wall as he catches the second out of the inning.
Couple long fly balls here. Would have been out at Ray Fisher Stadium. That's Willie Weiss's big weakness. Is he has stuff that looks unhittable at times, but when it gets hit, it goes a long way more often than not. And a couple of Vanderbilt batters showing that with 2 deep flyouts to start the top of the 8th inning.
Julian Infante waiting his turn to get here to Omaha. Back when he committed to Vanderbilt, they were riding a back-to-back streak of reaching the championship series.
First pitch to Austin Martin is a breaking ball down and in. It's 1-0.
It's been 4 years since they last reached it in 2015, losing in 3 games to Virginia, the team they beat just the year before.
Righty, Weiss to Martin, freshman to sophomore. Weiss gets his sign from Donovan, takes a breath, winds off the 1-0. Breaking ball bounces on the plate, and it's 2-0. Martin on the day, not his best day, 0 for 4, a couple strikeouts, a couple groundouts, does have an RBI, though, back in the 5th inning. Nice barehanded play made by Blake Nelson, but there are runners on first and third, and thus didn't have a shot at home. Had to go to first and get Martin. If it was hit harder, could have been an inning-ending double play. 2-0 pitch to Martin. This time is a line drive towards straightaway center field. Franklin stops in his tracks, now takes 2 steps backwards from where he was playing and retires Austin Martin. So and the side in the 8th.
All 3 outs this inning going deep into the outfield. That one the most shallow of them, and it would have probably hit the wall back at the fish. But Jesse Franklin not getting his workout in on that one, just a 2-step out.
So the Vanderbilt goes down 1-2-3 here in the top of the 8th inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Vanderbilt leads Michigan by a score of 4-1. You are listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. That's exactly what Michigan wanted out of Willie Weiss. Even though they were a couple scary balls, he did get the 1-2-3 inning and gave Michigan a chance to get back in this ballgame just a little bit more after they scored 1 last inning. They'll try to get a couple more and at least make the 9th a manageable comeback. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for Michigan here. Jimmy Kerr, Blake Nelson, Christian Bullock. Those 3 guys on the day are a combined 0 for 8 with a walk and a reached on error.
And going back to that Vanderbilt versus Virginia rematch from 4 years ago in 2015, a few significant relationships to this game. It was the last 3-game series in which the team that won game 1 actually won the series. No, sorry, that was the part of 3 consecutive 3-game series where the winner of game 1 went on to lose. Vanderbilt won game 1 5-1, then lost 3-0 and 4-2 to Virginia. They were a 3 seed going into that NCAA tournament too. I think you can connect the dots there and how that relates to this series. So Vanderbilt facing 3 seeds in the championship round in back-to-back championship appearances. But in the past 4 College World Series, 3 or 4 times the team that won game 1 ended up losing. It was only Florida that won game 1. They also won game 2 and made things easy, winning 4-3 and 6-1 over LSU. We do know that since going to the 64-field format in 1999, teams that win game 1 have a 69% winning percentage in the series overall. Vanderbilt, though, has done their work to even the odds.
First pitch, Jimmy Kerr. Here's a breaking ball. He fouls off the end of the bat behind him. The count is 0-1 on the Wolverine first baseman, having a rough day at the plate today. 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts against Kumar Rocker.
Took his time to really get going in yesterday's game as well.
0-1 pitch. This one is a chopper towards the left side. Austin Martin makes a nice play. Throws to first in time for the outs.
And Jimmy Kerr not finding his mojo either. Of course, Jordan Wogu going down with an injury. Michigan facing their fair share of offensive challenges. Their defense might limit Vanderbilt to 4 runs in consecutive ball games. Really nothing to scoff at. It's been the bullpen's group effort right now, pitching by committee, to get through this one. But they've done a pretty good job. Had a couple of gaffes and the infielders messing up a couple times as well. But they've done a pretty good job, all things considered.
Blake Nelson now fouls the first pitch fastball back behind him. And the count is 0-1 on him. Nelson strikeout, reach on error, fly out. Does have 2 stolen bases on the game to bring his total up to 18 for 18 on the year. Was unable to score, was stranded at third in the 4th inning. The 0-1 pitch to him is off speed. Just a bit low. It's 1-1.
And Michigan is going to have to come out swinging at some point. They need a multiple run inning to win this one.
The 1-1 pitch to Nelson, fouled off behind him and up into the club seats off to our left. The count is 1-2.
It's going to have to be someone. Akeo Thomas and Jack Blomgren doing their part. They'll need more to step up, though, as Nelson, number 5, in the lineup.
1-2 pitch. This one's hit in the air by Nelson to center field. Routine play for DeMarco. He camps under it and makes the grab for out number 2.
So Christian Bullock probably having the weakest hitting series of anyone in the Michigan starting 9. it's going to be his turn to maybe play some hero ball and get things going. Michigan held Vanderbilt scoreless for the first time in 5 innings.
Bullock 2 for 16 thus far in this College World Series. Does have himself 4 walks, though, including one today. He lines the first pitch right at Harrison Ray, the second baseman. And just like that, Michigan goes down 1-2-3 in their half of the 8th inning. We head to the 9th. Vanderbilt in firm control of this one. It's a 4-1 ball game. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. Game 2 of this best-of-3 College World Series final series in front of 25,017 fans today, topping out yesterday's by about 300 fans.
Some fans, though, already headed for the exits. I'd have to say that's pretty premature. It does look like it's mostly neutral fans who just wanted to see some baseball. Today's level of play, maybe not as high caliber, except for, of course, Kumar Rocker, and Isaiah Page played a pretty great game, too, all things considered, but more errors, 2 for each team, more pass balls, wild pitches, those all being on the Michigan side of things, and that really has been the difference. Could be a 1-run ball game had Michigan cleaned up a couple of things, maybe even a tie game right now. When Kumar Rocker is on the mound, you have to be excellent defensively, and that was just not Michigan today.
Coming out of the bullpen for the Wolverines is Walker Cleveland, relieving Willie Weiss. Cleveland's going to get the 3 lefties in the 2, 3, and 4 slots for Vanderbilt. Cleveland, the tall left-hander out of Suwanee, Georgia. The freshman stands at 6'2", 145. A lanky lefty, to say the least. On the season, Cleveland's appeared in 14 games, started 3 times. He's 4-3 with a 4.34 ERA. Pitched 37 1/3 innings. Struck out just 18, walked 15, and batters hit .224 against the freshman left-hander.
And Michigan has told ESPN, at least, for the regionals that he put on 20 pounds since officially weighing in. Even then, that's still a pretty lanky fellow.
6'2", 165.
And that's, the most optimistic outcome there. He does look, we're pretty far, kind of hard to tell, but does look a bit more built than 145, I think.
Yeah, it does look a little bit. We got a chance to kind of see Michigan working out earlier on in this week. Andy Laidlaw, when he was here, and myself, before talking to a couple players. Got a chance to see Walker Cleveland walking in. He does look a little more than 145, but not that much more than 145. He is a very tall, lanky figure. And he has 3 formidable lefties to face here. Looking to make probably a good final impression as a freshman. And certainly his first real impression on a national stage. Cleveland comes set. First pitch to J.J. Blade is outside for a ball, 1-0. Cleveland does not have much velocity on his pitches. Despite the lanky frame, doesn't sling it too quickly up there. Probably look to add a little more velocity in his time in Ann Arbor, but has been effective this year with a breaking ball like that. The Blade swings and misses right over the top of. And the count's 1-1.
Yep, he does have 3 more years to bulk up in Ann Arbor, maybe get involved with Camp Sanderson, go through the routine and maybe get a weight more fitting of his 6'2" frame.
Blade on the day reached base on an intentional walk, but otherwise 0 for 3. He lines a 1-hopper to Jack Blomgren playing on the second base side of second base. Blomgren swallows it up in the gut and throws to first in time for out number 1.
Absorbs the ball to the gut right there, but does what he needs to do to fix things here. He did have that one error that cost Michigan a run, could make this a 3-1 game, which feels infinitely better than 4-1, but with the way Michigan's hitting, really any kind of deficit's going to feel like a long shot. With the back end of the lineup leading off next inning.
Ethan Paul, now the left-handed hitting shortstop, will come up to the plate. Same story as Blade. Reached base on intentional walk, but is otherwise 0 for 3. Takes the first pitch fastball inside, 1-0. Vanderbilt, as you mentioned, leads 4-1 here in the top of the 9th. Walker Cleveland on the mound, the freshman from Michigan, on the big stage, just trying to keep Michigan within striking distance going into the bottom of the 9th. The 1-0 pitch here to Paul, misses outside with the off-speed pitch. It's 2-0. Paul's strikeouts came against Page way back in the first. His most recent one coming against Angelo Smith in the seventh. 2-0 pitch to him from Cleveland, misses down and in, ball 3. Cleveland, a contact pitcher, doesn't strike out many guys. He really tries to avoid walks as much as possible also. He's walking a little bit less than half a runner per inning on the mound. Down the count here, 3-0 to Ethan Paul, the pitch. Fastball called, strike on the outside corner.
Avoids the 4-pitch walk. We'll see if he can drag things on with Ethan Paul.
And that one right there, maybe a bit of a pitcher strike. Looked like it could have possibly been off the plate away from our vantage point up here, but 3-1 pitch on the way, off speed, has Paul way out in front of it. Barely gets a piece and taps it near the Vanderbilt dugout. Counts full, 3-2. Would be a nice moment for the freshman Walker Cleveland. We can come back and get a senior like Ethan Paul here in the College World Series after falling behind 3-0. The payoff pitch. Foul behind the screen and off to the left side of the field into one of the empty boxes over here. The count will remain full, 3-2.
As a fan tries to climb from the lower section of the second deck and get that one, but I think a fan in 216 ends up going home with it.
There's 3 section levels here, really, at the grandstand at TD Ameritrade Park. This is the 100 sections of the main grandstand. On the upper deck, consists of 200s that go all the way around. The 300s are near the corners. Another 3-2 pitch here from Cleveland to Paul is fouled off behind the plate, and we'll do it again at 3-2.
Full count for Cleveland. He can definitely show off what he can offer here and help advance his career for the next 3 years in Ann Arbor. Really good Vandy lineup that he is handling pretty well so far. 1 out, full count now.
And granted, Eric Bakich has used a lot of arms here, but a lot of trust in his lefty, Walker Cleveland, as a freshman. This one's hit high in the air towards right center field. Jesse Franklin has a beat on it. Brewer will back him up as Franklin makes the play at routine right center for out number 2. Yeah, there's a lot of faith from Eric Bakich going to the freshman to face such a dangerous part of this Vanderbilt lineup. 2, 3, 4, 3 powerful lefties. And he's gotten through 2/3 of it thus far. Now he has to face Philip Clark, who has had himself a good day at the plate. 2 for 4 single and a solo home run. That solo home run came back in the 7th to make it a 4-0 Vanderbilt lead. Michigan tacked on 1 in the bottom of the 7th to make it, as we stand here, at 4-1. Another lefty-lefty matchup here. Cleveland to Clark. First pitch, off speed, called, strike on the outside corner.
And as frustrating as things have been for Michigan defensively, their bullpen lineup really has given them a chance to win this game. Ultimately, nothing doing on offense. Tons of stranded runners that will probably do them in.
Swinging and a miss there. Another off-speed pitch from Clark, and now it's 0-2. Cleveland doing his part here through 2 batters and change to keep Michigan, again, within striking distance in the 9th. We've already seen a 4-1 deficit overcome way back on the first weekend, that Auburn-Mississippi State game. Not out of the question here. 0-2 pitch from Cleveland. Call, strike 3 with the fastball. After a couple off-speed pitches, Cleveland dials it up to 87 on this gun to get his first strikeout in Omaha. 1-2-3 inning pitch by him. We'll head to the bottom of 9th. Michigan needs to get some runs. They trail by 3. The score, Vanderbilt 4, Michigan 1. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. I'm Austin Belko. Alongside me, Daniel Thompson, with you for this entire championship series and this entire Michigan College World Series run. That includes a possible game tomorrow should Michigan not be able to complete a comeback tonight. That game would start at the same time the past 2 nights have started, 7 Eastern, 6 Central Time, right here, same place, TD Ameritrade Park in Omaha, Nebraska.
And I know Michigan probably looked at this game and thought that Kumar Rocker was not the guy they thought they could win against, but Mason Hickman is quite the formidable foe as well. 2.08 ERA on the year, 8-0 on the season. Michigan has delivered a couple of first losses or second losses to pitchers on the season here in Omaha. Also gave UCLA their first series loss of the whole season, so don't tell them the odds. And Mason Hickman usually not having the staying power that maybe especially Drake Fellows and Kumar Rocker has. Only 90 and 2/3 innings pitched on the year. But he has a 183 batting average against him. Only 3 wild pitches, only hit 6 batters. He has great control. Rarely walks either. Only just lost the stat, but only 25 walks on the year. 119 strikeouts to match that.
So Michigan's used 6 pitchers tonight. It'll be 2 for Vanderbilt if they get their way. Kumar Rocker started. Tyler Brown's in the game now, their closer, working in his 3rd inning of work. He came in with 1 out in the 7th. So he can finish it off. It'll be 2 2/3 innings officially for him of what he would prefer to be shutout baseball. The 1-run charge to Kumar Rocker. It scored while Brown was on the mound. Gave up the single to Akeo Thomas, but that run does go to Rocker. He'll face the bottom of the order here. Blomgren, Donovan, and Akeo Thomas to start things in the bottom of the 9th.
And the man responsible for half of Michigan's hits. Still only 4 on the board, but Vandy only got 6. 2 errors also being assessed to both sides.
It's Blomgren's first look at Tyler Brown. Seemed to be the one guy in the lineup that saw Kumar Rocker well. Takes the first pitch, fastball, Steve Reich right at the knees.
Yep, the 1 run that was charged against Kumar Rocker was indeed Jack Blomgren, and he was driven home by Akeo Thomas, who could potentially end up representing the tying run if all goes well for the Wolverines.
Blomgren 2 for 3, a couple singles on the day. This pitch is hit towards the right field. Diving stop made over there by Harrison Ray. He throws to first in time. Stellar play by Ray to start the 9th.
Blomgren giving himself a chance, but ultimately Vanderbilt has been tighter on defense. They had the 2 errors as well. It's really been the wild pitches and passed balls that separated these 2 teams, in addition to Vanderbilt's 2 extra hits, one of those being a home run.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head there. Vanderbilt just played a cleaner game. Even their errors were not very costly errors. They came in isolated moments, as opposed to the Wolverines kind of compiling those errors, wild pitches, passed balls, all in a couple innings. Joe Donovan steps up, 1 out here, bottom of the 9th inning, trailing by 3. Takes the first pitch, breaking ball, low and away, 1-0.
Yep, we'll see how Michigan bounces back. Eric Bakich has described their ability to come back from adversity as one of the biggest strengths of this team in the postseason.
1-0 pitch, fastball, check swing, fouled over the screen and out of play. Count is 1-1. A lot of check swings from Joe Donovan today, not seeing the ball well. Really today, or most of this College World Series, save for that long home run yesterday.
They might not have to come back from a loss here. A 1-out rally could extend this game or win it for them.
He did have 3 hits yesterday, did Joe Donovan. He takes a 1-1 breaking ball low and away, ball 2. But really hasn't looked as comfortable as he did, say, in the UCLA series, where he was just pounding everything in sight. Brown winds up, 2-1 offering. Fastball misses, low and away, ball 3. It's exactly what Michigan needs. They just need some base runners, get the tying run that much closer to the plate. It's still in the dugout as it stands right now. The 3-1 pitch, hit high in the air on the left side of the infield. Martin is calling it. He's running in near the line, near the pitcher's mound now, and makes the grab on the high pop-up for out number 2.
And Michigan at least needs more at-bats, more like Blomgren's and less like Donovan's. At least give themselves a chance to get on base. They have forced 2 Vanderbilt errors. They haven't fielded excellently, but they have covered pass balls and wild pitches phenomenally in these first 2 games. Akeo Thomas, who has been Mr. Clutch for the Wolverines now, has a chance to extend this game. But that tying run is still in the dugout with 2 outs. They did have a 3-run 2-out rally earlier in this series.
Michigan down to their final hope. Akeo Thomas takes the first pitch, strike 0-1. Thomas is 1 for 2 on the day, single and a strikeout. Also got on base via walk. 2 of those came against Kumar Rocker. The single and RBI came against Tyler Brown a couple innings ago in the 7th. 0-1 pitch this time. Misses low, ball 1. And Brown's pitch count up to 36 now. I'd imagine if needed, he'll be good to go tomorrow, as it's the last possible game of the season. And a guy like Tyler Brown certainly we wanted to be used. Akeo Thomas hits one down the left field line, looping near the line, and that one is just foul. Making a sliding attempt there with Scott, but it landed about a foot foul, maybe at the most. And Kale Thomas will have to jog back to the dugout. He's almost at second base with a 1-2 count.
And that's baseball. Anything, you know, a one break here or there can make all the world's difference.
Should Akeo Thomas extend this ball game, Riley Bertram stands on deck in Dominic Clementi's spot after Clementi struck out a couple times looking. Bertram, should we get there, we can tell out his story coming in the Corvallis Regional, but Akeo Thomas going to have some work in front of him. He's down 1-2 here, the final strike possibly for the Wolverines in this ball game.
We'll see if the senior can set up the freshman.
Tyler Brown winds up, 1-2 pitch, misses low and away, ball 2.
Thomas wisely not chasing anything. He never wanted to end the game looking, but makes the heads-up call. Lets that one roll beneath him.
Thomas gets in that right-handed batter's box, ready to face the big right-hander, Brown. 2-2 pitch, just misses inside, ball 3. Thomas thought about swinging, then pulled his hands out of the way. Very indecisive there in that fastball. Ruling it did not catch the corner was David Savage behind the plate.
And Brown will get up to 40 pitches on the day, but I do think Vanderbilt will go to him if they need him.
The windup, 3-2 pitch to Thomas. This one's a ground ball towards third. Austin Martin slides and backhands, throws to first. Ball game over. Michigan goes down here by a score of 4-1 to Vanderbilt, and we're going to have a winner-take-all Game 3 tomorrow to determine the 2019 NCAA Men's Baseball Champions.
And Michigan did look like they were playing for tomorrow at times, at least with the selection in the bullpen. They have decided, though, they're going to put it all on the line for Criswell and Kaufman tomorrow. I'd be surprised if any other pitchers are seen for Michigan, and if they are, that's probably a pretty bad sign for them. They limit Vanderbilt to 4 runs in back-to-back games, but ultimately, Kumar Rocker is just too much to handle. Only 1 earned run against him coming in the 7th inning.
So Michigan falls 4-1 here. The final line scores 4 runs on 6 hits, 2 errors by Vanderbilt. 1 run, 4 hits, 2 errors for Michigan as well. And Vanderbilt keeps their season alive for one more day. The last game of the college baseball season will be played tomorrow. Vanderbilt versus Michigan. Everything is on the line. Winner takes all. The championship decided in 9 innings or however long it takes tomorrow night, starting at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. You can listen right here on youtube.com/WCBN Sports. Kumar Rocker gets the win today, moves to 12-5 on the season. Isaiah Page takes a loss, his first loss of the year, and drops to 4-1. Daniel, any final thoughts here before we sign off? And I guess look forward to tomorrow's ball game, which should be a doozy.
Well, pass balls and clean baseball. I think if Michigan played a totally clean game, they've been nearly perfect defensively here in Omaha. This might be a tie game, 1-1. And also, with runners in scoring position, Michigan has to bat like they did earlier in this postseason, stranding a bunch of runners in consecutive ball games. Had they had a few more timely hits, that could have tied this one up at some point. Ultimately, not enough for Michigan, and we'll see if they can bounce back like they did in Corvallis, like they did in Los Angeles, and like they did in Omaha after an early loss to Ohio State. Resiliency has been the key for this team. They've been on quite the run, have nothing to hold their heads low about if things don't work out tomorrow, but it's going to be a sour taste in their mouth if they can't finish 1 of 2 games to win the College World Series for the first time in 57 years.
One More Day by Diamond Rio rings over the loudspeakers here at TD Ameritrade Park, and we have one more day with you here at WCBN Sports for this season. Tomorrow night again, 7 Eastern, 6 Central Time, Michigan, Vanderbilt, winner take all. Tune in right here at youtube.com/WCBN Sports. Find the link on Twitter at WCBN Sports. Give us a follow, subscribe on YouTube. You'll be ready for the ball game tomorrow. We expect Michigan comes out with their heavy arms ablazing. Vanderbilt certainly will not back down easy. Should be a great one. I hope you join us tomorrow. But for tonight, for Daniel Thompson, I'm Austin Falco. All of us here at WCBN Sports from Omaha, we wish you a good night and go blue.